these cameras speaking?
I think so, but now I'm self-conscious.
Yeah. Oh, we got the low. The camera's low right now. Sound is speeding, Gabriel. I just want to say that. Wow. This is it's the Sound Good podcast. Sounds excellent.
Faint
Let's clap
popcorn
in.
noises.
What?
The faint popcorn noises.
Yeah.
That's it, baby. ASMR. A little smart ASMR.
ASMR.
Yeah.
I love ASMR.
Clap
Should we
in, you
clap
say?
in?
We shall.
Let's do it. All right, so Chong, we clap on one. Clap. Ready? 3, 2. Okay, that was not the best executed. All right. Chong, you blew.
This is also the No Second Chances podcast.
Oh, no,
sir.
sir. All right.
You gotta go home, man.
Hey, we're going. I'm going to execute, okay?
Yeah.
I didn't read my lines, but I'm going to improvise this shit the whole way. We're good.
Wait,
I execute.
It's funny. Come on, I gotta turn you down. See, you have that. You do have a louder voice. I knew your ass was gonna.
When I get when I get
when I
get a little excited, I get a little louder.
No, it's all good, man.
Let's
It's
go,
all good.
baby.
We just
Let's
want you
go.
to, we just want you to sound good. I feel like Chong and Gabe, because we've never actually met in real life.
We have not. Today is the first day.
You're so hot, dude.
Dude, you are a beautiful man.
You have the bluest eyes I've ever
He's
seen.
handsome,
Dude, your
right?
hair is powerful.
handsome.
Thanks. No, but your hair is sick too, because you have like Did
He's
you get
handsome.
a
He's
perm?
a handsome guy.
Or is that
A
natural?
perm. It is natural.
Oh my
Thank
god,
you.
dude.
Chong is good at giving compliments.
Yeah.
You know, I'm good at
Gabe is
giving
handsome, though.
compliments
He's handsome.
because I don't like getting compliments, so I'd rather compliment you.
Interesting.
That's my defense mechanism.
Wow.
Yeah, because getting like last night I had a good set. All these people were like, I had my first time a drunk man spit in my face in the bathroom, confessing his love, how funny I am, and
You're hilarious.
picked me up. He
Yeah.
picked me up. I'm not trying to brag or anything, but like that was just very uncomfortable getting picked
You
up.
didn't like. Well, it also
And he
sounds
was
like
shorter than me too.
it sounds like his compliment wasn't just a compliment though. It sounded like it came with a lot.
It came with a lot, and it was in the bathroom with just the two of us, and I felt
He
like
kind of cornered you.
Yeah.
He grabbed your.
yeah, I felt like he was just gonna take me into the fucking big stall
yeah,
right there,
yeah.
unbuckle
Bend
his
you
belt.
over.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
yeah,
Lord.
bro. Yeah.
Wanted a piece of
He
this
might have.
frickin'-
He might have. I think you got out of there just in time.
Just in the nick of time.
I
Let's be
know.
real. You
Yeah.
got out of there. Yeah.
Fuck San Diego.
Yeah.
I'm scared of
Oh, this was San
OMG.
Diego. too.
predatory audience members.
Yeah.
I don't like you guys.
We're
you
just
like-
letting you know.
You like San
everybody.
Diego?
It's weird, man. It's
I
weird.
like San Diego a lot, but I don't know. I don't want to.
It's weird. It's like a army bro vibe with
Yes.
like beautiful white people, which I'm scared to do crowd work on beautiful white people because
Okay.
like they're just intimidating, you know?
Huh.
Yeah, man. You know.
I remember I just want to throw out like a little memory. Like this is my memory of Chong. I saw you at the. What was that? We were just kind of shitting on it, but. Well, I don't want
Comedy
you to
Chateau.
Comedy Chateau. Well,
Don't
we want
book
you to still
me.
get booked. Oh, you don't want to get booked there. You don't want to get booked.
No, don't book me. No,
Okay,
I
all right.
don't- I
So
don't wanna
fuck
go
him.
to
Fuck
Chateau.
him. We can just talk shit.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we can talk shit.
Yeah, why not?
All right. Okay.
All right.
So I saw. I
I'll
was
be
at the
the
Comedy
diplomat. I'll be
Chateau.
resident
I was at the Comedy Chateau, and Chong goes up there, and Chong goes up there and he goes, "Yo, loud Asian dude, you ever seen one?" Like just yelling at these
Such a hack.
old white guys in the front row. And so
Oh
I
my
find it
God,
interesting
oh
that
my
you
God.
say, "Oh, I'm scared of doing crowd work on beautiful white," because maybe those were like ugly white people.
Old whites are okay. Old whites are
and
okay.
you find
Oh,
do you find that they receive
interesting.
your
Okay.
do you find that they receive
because
your
they're
crowd
scared
work?
of me, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? They're like Vietnam War vets, and they lost that war, so they're scared of me. They know the power of Asians, you know.
Yeah.
They know the power. They're a little scared.
I love how Chong is just like definitively lost. The war was lost.
It was lost.
Korean
So-
War though still ongoing technically, the longest war.
Ooh,
You know, it's
Damn.
a truce right now, dude.
It's an
All right,
asterisk.
Yeah.
So you feel like the old white guys are like they're fine with the crowd. What is it about the beautiful
Well,
whites?
I'm just less scared of them. You know, I'm just
Okay.
less scared of old white people. When I see a beautiful white girl, I think of like when I was 5 years old and I saw Britney Spears in that little fucking
Wow.
school outfit, and I'm just like, that's so hot.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't. What you know? Do you guys get intimidated talking to hot people, hot girls? and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
for
that?
sure, absolutely.
Of-
Who
So that's
doesn't,
like,
right?
yeah. When I'm doing comedy with that, yeah, I'm just like, you're too hot. I can't talk to you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just gonna be thinking about
Yeah.
like how I want to like date you, how I want to show up to your house with roses. Like that's not funny. That's horny. Okay. That's not what we're trying to do.
Are you big? Are you? I can't remember if you're big on crowd work or not. Like, are you a big crowd work guy?
Yeah, I love crowd work. It's really fun. It's like it's the only. I didn't know how to write jokes in the beginning,
Yeah.
so I'll just talk, not talk shit, but almost like just You know, because like I feel like I've gotten judged for my appearance a lot my whole life, so I got good at that when I was a kid. Like kind of like talking to someone like, oh, what you look like, you know, what kind of person are you, you know?
Wow, yeah.
So that kind of translated almost to like that first year, you know, just like comedy in general. Yeah, so crowd work is like super fun because also like I started in OC and there was a lot of like rowdy bar shows.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, like a quiet black space where like or black box theater, you know.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to grab people's attention. So
Yeah.
like, doing so you have to fucking talk to them, you know, and they're all
Yeah.
drunk and stuff and
Yeah.
yeah, crowd work is fun. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
What drew you to comedy in the first place? I don't think I know the answer to that question.
Shit, dude. Well, I did like little high school sketches in student body. I was like senior
Yeah.
class president, did like
Yeah.
little stupid homecoming sketches, and that was super fun, like acting and with lines and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And then I did improv and sketch comedy in college, and like didn't know anything about SNL or like stand up until I went to college. Like still really didn't know much about stand up until like I graduated college, honestly. Yeah, because like just the circle I was in, it was just a real, you know, suburban OC, like no one was really into like sketch comedy or like stand up. I never knew that was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dale, can you pass me the timer?
Oh fuck, we're a couple minutes. We're at 6
We're
minutes
good.
right
I'm
now.
just gonna thanks.
But yeah, I thought it was funny. There was no like formal moment between you and Gabe of introduction. It felt like.
That's true.
Have you guys been like meeting behind my back? And
Oh, multiple times a week. Actually,
Yeah.
I know,
We've been
yeah.
planning this.
okay.
We're secret lovers,
We
Colin.
are.
You
Okay.
don't know.
Yeah, but Gabe.
You gotta understand, I was the guy in the bathroom with the belt.
Okay.
That was me.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You're
That's-
professing as
Okay.
we
yeah,
were in
that's
San
what you didn't
Diego
wanna
last
bring
night.
up. Okay.
Yeah, it was a great
No
time. I
wonder
wasn't
you're
at
so
work.
tired.
Yeah, I'm exhausted, man.
Yeah. So every time that you've been going to, you said you're going to work, you've actually been going to San Diego.
Yeah, and every time
with
I
John.
had to go to San Diego, I had to add another notch
Don't
to
be
my
jealous
belt.
of our love,
It was
dog.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
My leg.
Jealous
I
of
just
our
had that
love
moment where I was
for you.
like, someone's touching my leg.
God,
I'm
dude,
kind
yes.
of excited.
you have such a strong fucking thigh,
Oh
dude.
my lord,
you-
dude! I
you
think
do
it's just
leg day.
tension.
You
It's
do
just
leg
tension.
day.
It's just tension.
Do you run or bike?
He's
You're
a handsome
biker,
guy,
huh?
though,
Do you
right?
bike?
I used to bike all the time in New York.
Nice.
I miss that shit.
Dude,
Now I
got
just
a
sit on
little
my
bike,
ass
too.
and
Look, we
yeah.
should go on a bike ride. We should go to Griffith Park or LA River.
Yo,
Yeah,
that sounds great.
Dude, that sounds fun, dude.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? You're working. You know, you're a beefcake, dude. You're
Yeah,
just lifting.
thanks,
No
brother.
cardio
Yeah.
for this.
This
boy.
guy pounds
Nah,
down
nah.
protein shakes and he just
Yeah.
push-ups all day
Push-ups.
long. This
Jesus
guy will
Christ,
do
yeah.
100 push-ups at a time.
Oh my god.
I do 200 at a time.
200. Thank you.
Yeah.
200 at a time.
George of the jungle right here.
Yeah,
Literally.
bro.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm trying to stay vital.
I
think
look
it's
vital. It's
Vital.
like you're talking about like a 40-year-old dude trying to get a girl pregnant, dude. Like I'm trying to stay vital. You're 23. No, you're 25, right?
Trying to keep the sperm.
You're
Yeah,
already
I'm
vital,
25.
dude.
I'm 25. Yeah,
You're
that's what I'm
vital,
saying.
man.
Trying
You're
to keep
vital.
that sperm count up. You know.
Dude, I heard
Uh,
I heard a random headline lately that sperm count is going down. What does that mean? What does that mean?
What do you mean overall?
Yeah, population-wise.
Who said that?
I was on Bill Maher's show, I think.
He might be
Bill Maher's
Maher, of course.
Can I just say, yeah, Bill Maher hasn't gotten smarter over time, so I trust him a lot less now.
Damn.
Like Chong, you guys gotten a little. I don't know how.
I
much
think
you know
he
about
just.
Bill
I think he found his audience and he's just gonna talk to that audience. You know.
Yeah, he gave up
Okay.
a long time ago and trying to find new
he doesn't
people.
really do much comedy.
Yeah, it's like
anymore.
I'm
it's
not.
just late
I'm
night.
not the
It's
biggest
just
Bill
late
Maher
night,
guy.
right?
I'm not the biggest.
Is
I
Bill
don't know
Maher
much
really
about him.
accepted as like a comic?
There was
Those-
a time when he did it regularly.
Okay.
Now
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
he's the comic transition to late night, and now it's kind of like we'll say Jimmy Fallon was a comic at one point.
Yeah.
Now he just laughs at everybody else. And
Hack.
then you have Jimmy Kimmel. A lot
Fuck
of
the
people got
talking heads.
opinions on
So
Jimmy
boring.
Kimmel. Right, you know, like
so boring.
It's funny,
Kimmel,
when will-
Fallon, fucking
When
Corden.
will that shit go out of style?
Seth Meyers is kind of cool.
Jon Stewart was great.
Here's the
Miss
reality.
Jon Stewart. I like Jon.
They can still, as long as they can sell ad space on those late night shows, they'll be around. So I mean, like,
Well, that's the
networks-
question.
as long
Is
as
it the
networks can sell
show?
ad space on
Is
that
it the
shit.
show or is it the personality? Because you know that show is going to be selling millions of dollars of ad space regardless of who's in charge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that show isn't for us. We're fucking artsy fartsy
Yeah,
LA
yeah, yeah.
kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like this
yeah.
show is for like
No
the moms
one-
and fucking
Right. No one.
Iowa.
No one younger than 40 watches actually turns on Jimmy Kimmel
Yeah.
or Jimmy Fallon
Yeah.
or James Corden.
You know, that brings up another question in terms of late night, and you were saying SNL before. Does anybody our age actually watch SNL?
I don't. I've never been an SNL fan really.
Yeah, Chong, are you an SNL breakdown? Your take
Never,
on it?
never been an SNL fan, dude. Honestly, like I remember watching Mad TV sketches,
Bro,
because
Okay.
Bobby Lee was in them. And I was
Bobby
like,
Lee-
oh, funny Korean guy,
Dude,
Like,
Bobby Lee's so funny. Are
He's
you a Bobby
fucking-
Lee fan?
He's
I'm the
funny.
biggest Bobby Lee fan.
Yeah.
Dude,
I'm the
he
biggest.
is-
He made me
he-
want to be like I'm doing
Okay.
this right now because
That's
of
really
Bobby Lee,
special.
so,
Yeah, I mean, Mad TV. I want to talk about Mad TV for a second because you brought it up. Because like Bro, I used to live in middle school. I used to live on YouTube, like looking up Mad TV
That's so
sketches with my
funny.
friends, bro.
Yeah.
Because Key and Peele were on
Yeah.
there.
Yes,
Yeah.
Bobby
start-
Lee was
yeah,
on there. Who's the
Ike
guy? Who did-
Barinholtz.
Yeah, who's the guy who used to do the Steve Madden impression?
Fuck, I forgot.
Not
Oh,
Steve Madden.
John
John
Madden.
Madden.
John
Sorry,
Madden,
not
yeah.
Steve Madden.
I forgot, dude.
Frank Castiglione or something. Something
What's
like
wrong
that.
with it? I support.
But yeah, dude, they're just so like they're really.
Caliendo. Frank Caliendo.
Oh, there we
sorry.
go.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Caliendo. There we
Yeah.
go.
Castiglione. I just made that up.
This was a very special time in like entertainment. South Park and Mad TV,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like that's
Bro.
just, and we kind of grew up on that. That's kind
Yeah,
of.
sure,
Are you
for
how old are
sure.
you? Like 20?
28.
Yeah, that's like our era.
Yeah, bro.
exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah, they pushed the bounds. They
Yeah.
pushed the bounds, whereas
Back
everybody
when
else
like it
was
felt
playing-
like you could.
Exactly.
Because that's like post Simpsons, you know.
Yeah.
You know what it was?
Like-
It-
Yeah.
I feel like it was back when there was a space for it. You know, like there
Mm-hmm.
was the clean stuff. We were talking a second ago about like late night or daytime TV,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was like late night, Adult
Yeah.
Swim.
Yeah,
There
Comedy
was
Central.
late, yeah, exactly. You know, even like
Chappelle
Nick
Show.
at Night and shit like that. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
Nick at Night. Yeah, yeah.
And now it's kind of like that stuff's just getting
Dude,
gone.
Muddled
early
a little
2000s,
bit, yeah.
really early 2000s pop culture, I think was fucking sick.
Dude,
Looking back on it,
Yeah.
like, dude, like hip hop was sick. Like T-Pain, Lil Wayne,
It's,
early like Drake
You
shit,
said
like
Eric Andre
later
show.
Jay-Z shit. What?
Eric Andre.
Eric
show.
Andre's more like 2010s on.
Yeah,
You think
yeah,
so?
Yeah, he's not like 2000 to 2000. He's more like 2010, 11 on.
All right.
God, yeah,
Um,
that era of like jerking too, like Soldier Boy came. That
Soulja
Soldier Boy
Boy,
era, yeah, that was when I was in
Yo.
6th grade. And like, oh my god.
Well, that was back when music was still more lucrative than it is now. So people like when
Before streaming.
yeah, and so it was there was a different business around certain things. Like there was a different business around TV, first of all. So like there was just more money in like MTV.
Yeah.
So like MTV actually
networks
showed
had
music
more
videos
power.
still. Yeah, like there was more what was I gonna say? Like you had shit like hip hop records were just more like produced. You know, like you had like Young Jeezy and like Akon and like Eminem really putting together like very like records that they like first of all
big
full blown
studio
albums.
albums,
Yes,
yeah,
but big studio records that then, you know, got played in the club and shit, like, and became, it's just like it was a different time. It felt like where, and I also think people were a little more willing to, and I don't know what your take on this, but it feels like people were a little more willing to like, yeah, push the bounds, push the boundaries, like do outlandish comedy and say outlandish things in music and like, I don't know. Feels like now
It was just like a simpler time, yeah.
Yeah,
There was just
yeah.
less choices of entertainment, you know?
Yes.
Because everyone has like that niche TikToker that they love, you know?
Right.
Like that's
Yeah.
their person that's their entertainment.
Yeah.
Today. Yeah, but
But I also feel like there's also room for like at least there was room for like shock value.
Mm-hmm.
You know, today I feel like the closest we get to shock value is watching people get upset at shocking things.
Yeah, there we go.
You know, everything is so voyeuristic. You know, it's like let's record somebody doing and watch the reaction of somebody else dealing with it. I don't know. Maybe I'm off here, but
elaborate on what you're saying. I'm not.
so you got Eric Andre. And
Exactly,
He
yeah.
does ridiculous shit,
Yeah.
right? And we laugh at him and his willingness to do things nobody else will do. Today, the version of that is kids on TikTok recording random goers on the sidewalk and us getting a laugh at the ridiculous shit, but not the shit as subject, the people reacting to it as a subject.
Yeah, which
Does that
isn't
make
as
sense?
which isn't as rich to me. I don't know, as like a
It feels a little cheaper.
cultural output, but yeah.
You know, I don't know what it means. I don't know if it's just kind of like, not to get like too like pretentious. I don't know if it's just like a postmodern version of
Kind of is, yeah. It's just like a more accessible, just like different types of people, but doing the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's, you know, comedy is just, you know, art is also recycled, you know, but it's just different perspectives of people doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Do you engage with TikTok at all?
No, dude, but YouTube Shorts got me. I'm a big YouTube guy,
Yeah.
and like I'm on my phone on YouTube a lot, watching, you know, comedy podcasts, like surfing videos and shit like that.
Yeah.
But I got hooked on the shorts sometimes. Like
Yeah,
I'd be freaking there for 30 minutes. I'm like, oh my god, no wonder these freaking kids' brains are
yeah,
getting destroyed. They're so goddamn addicting.
Yeah,
you know?
bro, yeah,
Dude, it's
yeah.
uncomfortable. It's
Just
like a
looking at
fucking
Do you
slot
put
machine.
out?
Yeah, slot machine, dude.
Do you put out your comedy anywhere? Like, do you put it out on TikTok? You put it on
man.
YouTube?
No, not
Okay,
yet. I'm
got
kind
it.
of like in that. hyperbolic
you're
time
just in the
chamber,
show.
dude. Yeah,
You're in
because
the
like
show game.
the first impression is so key, you know. Like I don't want, there's so many hack motherfuckers out there uploading your unfunny fucking crowd work clips. Stop oversaturating our fucking feeds. Stop uploading your unfunny comedy clips.
So
open micers, okay? And I'm saying this to myself too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not engaging.
I
in
understand.
that stuff.
Yeah. So you want to work a little more on your craft.
Exactly.
Like you were saying to me off pod, but you were saying before we got on here, you were saying like you're trying to work on joke writing a little more because like crowd work was always you're saying just now like crowd work is always a little easier to you, but like joke writing is where
my big my big weakness.
Yeah,
or is
bro.
my big weakness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say I feel like that's like a smart long-term move. A, going into incubation mode, but B, if you get better at like writing jokes off stage, the more you do that, the more they're going to come to you on the spot, and it's just going to inform the crowd work even more. You're going to be able to do so many setups and payoffs without even thinking about it.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Because, like, hopefully, like, you know, a good comedian has, like, the jokes, has the crowd work, you know, and has, like, also just, like, the exuberance, the personality, just, like, the likable face, likability factor. And you want to kind of, you know, combine all three of those in, like, you know, in your act, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I want to start a crowd work bit and then get into, like, a written joke. Like, that's that's good. Like, that's what I want to get into. Like,
okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And is that's just, do you look at other comics that do that and it makes you want to approach it that way?
Yeah, there's a bunch of crowd work comics that I look up to. Yeah.
Who, like name any you would like to name? Or?
Yeah. Stavros Halkias, fat
Dude,
Greek
he's
guy
funny.
from New York.
He's funny.
Yeah,
I like him a lot.
He's really, and his take
really
on crowd
funny.
work is really interesting.
Yeah.
He's so lazy about it.
Yeah.
He just asks the audience questions and lets the audience find out the funny. He just reveals like, oh yeah, my stepmom fucked my brother when I was a kid, and that's the funny. He didn't even have to say that. The audience said it for them, you know.
Yeah. And he his special that he uploaded on YouTube was fire.
Yeah.
My brother
really
and I were like when I was home over the summer, like we watched it and we were like in tears.
No
like,
way.
Just
Fuck
laughing
yeah,
because
dude.
I never
love that guy.
I had
dude.
never.
Yeah.
I mean, he was really. You know what's crazy though is like his hour that he uploaded on YouTube was funnier than like a lot of Netflix specials.
Oh yeah.
Do you know? It's like what is the
Sure.
deal? But what is the deal
For
with
sure.
that? Right? What is the deal with the dilution of the comedy at a higher level? Like, what is that?
Well,
And it, like, I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying?
well,
like,
all these cool New York guys are like, you know, starting to upload their YouTube specials or their specials on YouTube, like Andrew Schultz, Mark Norman, Sam
yes,
Morril.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
like
all
Schultz.
those.
I do.
I mean,
Yeah,
I like
Schultz
Schultz
is
too.
fun. Yeah.
I'm not a big fan a fan as like of his comedy, but you like his comedy. I
Well,
like
here's the
his
thing.
podcast. and
I'm
shit.
very curious because you have repeatedly told me you don't like his comedy. Dale and I watched a special together, and I understand why Dale doesn't like the written jokes. But I didn't get into Schultz because of his written jokes. I got in because of his crowd work.
Yeah, his
Are you
crowd work
saying you
clips,
don't like
yeah.
his crowd work as
No,
well?
his crowd work's funny. I don't
his
like
crowd
his jokes.
work is some of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, very
ever.
good.
Okay, so I can give a good comparison. Stavros Halkias, right? Stavros is doing jokes, but you learn something about him while he's doing the joke,
Okay.
which I like. Like, I think I know that we were talking about the difference between LA and New York comics, and it's like LA people are more willingly bring a little more of their personality, and that's more acceptable. In New York, it's like jokes. And I think Stavros to me was like a good balance of like, clearly he's telling like he's a really good joke writer. He's telling great jokes, but you learn something about him while he's telling the joke. Schultz will write really good jokes, but I don't learn anything about him. And that I don't know if like there must be maybe that's like a discourse within comedy, like within the comedy world of like whether that matters. But like for example, like I love Chappelle because Chappelle, you learn about Chappelle's worldview and about Chappelle when he's telling jokes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I like that. I want to learn about.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest, dude.
Yeah.
I hate seeing like stand up live now because I just see it all the time, like almost every night. I fucking fell asleep at Chris Rock on Thursday at the Dolby Theater.
Holy
Wow.
shit.
I
Really?
fucking fell asleep, dude.
And you just weren't
I
into
fell
it?
asleep.
Wait,
The
why?
first-
Why?
Well, because I was a little crossfaded and tired.
Okay. So that was.
That's
But
a
also-
minor detail.
Doesn't matter.
Minor detail.
I was, but dude, like, it's every big comedian, Ricky Gervais, Louis C.K., Chappelle, Chris Rock now, they all have the same first 15 to 20 minutes of their special post-COVID. It goes, woke culture, Trump, COVID. I don't give a fuck about what you have to say about those three topics anymore.
Yeah.
Because that shit is so... everything has been said about that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Louis said everything about it. Chappelle said everything about it. And then Chris Rock, now he's... Okay, it's funny. It's jokes. But it's just like... The parts when he was talking about his daughter going to culinary arts school and
This is Rock. You're
Yeah,
talking about.
him being single and fit and trying to get trying to date again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he mentioned cheating on his wife once, but he didn't even talk about cheating on his wife. That's why Kevin Hart's kind of maybe like a little bit more successful and Chappelle maybe, because they're open to sharing those really intimate parts of their life.
Yeah.
You know? And Chris Rock, I was like, dude, tell me more about you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I feel like there's maybe that's also specific to our generation. I think our generation likes to share shit about ourselves, or more willing to be like, in my opinion, it's more of a willingness to be vulnerable. I think overall, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
Maybe like older heads wouldn't look at it that way. But I do think when it feels like there's a separation, like you're saying, like you feel like there's more of a separation between you and Rock, and you're like, you don't feel like you're being let into his worldview or his life or his outlook, whatever it is. When I feel that separation, it doesn't hit me the same way.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I don't feel engaged by that. That's just a personal.
Yeah.
Like I thought Schultz's special that we watched, like the one he put out, the one he bought back from whatever Hulu or Amazon.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I totally understand. I respect the shit out of him for like buying it back and putting like it's just because it's just
He's crazy.
these
That's respect.
whatever. Amazon trying to tell him like, oh,
He
can
made
you
way
cut
more
these
money
jokes? Or
too.
it's like,
He made way
whatever,
more
dude, we're
money.
not-
You know.
Moment House.
What was I gonna say? But Schultz, I just feel this. Like when I see Schultz on his podcast, I feel like I'm there with him, chatting with him.
Yeah.
Like I'm there.
Flagrant.
It's literally like I'm hanging out with
It's
him.
a good hang.
And then
podcast.
maybe that's another. This is a whole nother problem. Is like, it's like trying to create movies. I was talking about trying to create movies in a television world
Okay.
where people will go, I didn't learn enough about the characters, and it's like in a 2-hour movie, and it's like, well, that's not necessarily what movies are supposed to. That's not like the movie, but what people are referencing is like they watch TV and they learn about, in 10 episodes they learn all this stuff
Yeah.
about a character, and then they watch a movie and they're like, I didn't learn as much about a character as I would on a show. And then it's like, I was linking that to, Schultz. Maybe there's something unfair in what I'm pointing out about Schultz, which is like I'm able to watch Schultz on a podcast and I love what I see on the podcast and hear on the podcast, and then I watch his comedy and it's not the same. And I'm like, why can't you bring what's on the podcast into the comedy?
For sure.
But maybe that's not what he's supposed to do.
It might also just be
Right.
not what he wants
Right.
to do.
And so like that's just an interesting thing though, is like we live in a world of like, I think you said about the early 2000s, Chong, you said like it's a simpler time. There wasn't as much choice, maybe is the way you put it. Like I think now there's so many choices that it's kind of like I think there's probably undue expectations put on any given comedy special or any given movie or any given show for it to be everything.
And I think it's hard to judge a stand-up special because stand-up is live, baby, live,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta go there live. Fuck, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Specials don't capture even like a tenth of like what's happening in the room, I think.
Well, because they ultimately like, and also like specials, big specials. They're usually it's like 2 to 3 different venues that they're cutting together, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Well, it probably shows. I don't think they would cut different venues together.
Some specials, but yeah, usually it is like
Same venue, different shows.
Yeah.
I've seen specials though where they were cutting together different venues.
yeah, like
Really?
Akash Singe did a weird special. It was like it looked kind of cheap, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it was like him doing a spot at like the Cellar, and then him on the road, maybe in like Virginia
interesting.
somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, it's like 4 15-minute clips of like different like spots. Yeah, different clubs. Yeah, so that's just a weird way too. It's so many different ways to do this shit.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's a good time to be a stand-up comic? Like to be like a young stand-up comic coming up like you?
Dude, I mean, I think there's a huge resurgence because of podcasts, dude. I literally got
Yeah.
into stand-up because of Tiger Belly, like Bobby Lee's podcast.
Okay,
And there's a whole like it's gonna be funny. Like when I'm 50 and 60, reminiscing of like what I grew up on. Like I'm gonna be talking about, remember Bobby Lee on episode 317 with Ari Shaffir, like
Yeah.
those are gonna be like my comedic memories of like the greats, as to like
When
Bobby
those
Lee.
guys listen to vinyls and stuff.
They're talking they're talking about Pryor and shit like that. And
Yeah.
it's just such a weird, but it's just this is a different surgence, and everyone wants to be a comedian nowadays. I think it's so fun, like it's weird, like.
How does that aspect of it make you feel? The everyone wants to be a comedian part.
Do it,
Yeah.
do it, dude,
Yeah.
because like the cream will rise to the top.
Yeah,
I'm not trying. You know what I mean? Like
that's facts.
do comedy, but I'm doing it too. Like
Yeah.
I'll do it my way, you do it your way, and
Do you-
we'll see who. Like we'll see.
Do you feel like comedy is inherently competitive, or do you feel like you bring a competitiveness to it, or like?
I think
You're talking
I mean, I think this industry, everything about this industry is so
I
competitive.
mean, entertainment.
Yeah.
period.
But this is, but podcasts exactly just changed the whole thing. YouTube changed the whole thing. Like, like Mark Norman got famous, and all these he got a bunch of his like New York friends on his podcast, and you know what I mean, like Joe Rogan is fucking got a bunch of his friends famous, like Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura. They wouldn't be anywhere they're making millions now because of being on JRE and whatever.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's it's not a zero-sum game anymore, which is cool. Yeah, because like comedy fans will always have enough space in their heart for another comedian. I feel like.
Yeah.
Comedy is such a fast game. Like you can be like unknown, like Shane Gillis, dude. Like he got fired from SNL, and now he's literally like, honestly, like probably the best in the world right now. Like maybe not like one of the best. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like he's one of the best in the world right now.
Yeah.
And it's just so crazy how he came from like no one knew him, and then he got SNL, and then everyone hated him and still didn't know him. And then he got a little fame. He dropped this special, and like everyone's just like, holy fuck. Oh, and his sketch comedy stuff too. And everyone's just like,
I'm gonna have to watch more of him.
Yeah, his sketch comedy stuff is honestly the best sketch comedy I've ever seen. I've seen.
Oh, he does sketch comedy stuff.
Yeah,
okay,
Gillian
I'm looking
Keeves.
his ass up right now.
Yeah, Gillian Keeves is he's as an Asian man, fucking advocating for this this dude that got canceled on Asian hate.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
funny, dude. Yeah, he said
Oh, that's why he got fired from SNL.
Yeah, that's why he got because for doing a shitty Chinese accent. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, on his podcast.
Ah, this guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Okay.
guy. He's just like a fucking corn-fed country Pennsylvania boy, and
I've seen some of his stand-up. I don't know.
He does political humor the best, in my opinion, because he makes fun of his Fox News dad.
Yeah.
In a way where it's so like you like
it's
pointed,
the best. But
it's so
heartfelt.
poised. It's so poised, like how he makes fun of conservatives. Like
Yeah.
it's so hacky to make fun of conservatives nowadays, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like it's already done for. Like we've already made enough Trump jokes, but he like makes Trump jokes where it's almost like humanizes them more in a way where it's like it's his dad,
Yeah.
But he he does great comedy because he hits the left, he hits the right. He's like, you don't know which side he's on. Oh yeah, obviously he's like, he says on his podcast he's like, I'm not gonna say he's a liberal, but he didn't vote for Trump.
Right. Yeah. Well,
And you can tell from it through his comedy, that he's like not like a fucking conservative, white
Well, that's
guy.
what's tough is like everyone's trying so hard to put people in boxes, and like,
dude,
why can't you make fun of everybody and still have your own opinion? Like if you make fun of someone specifically, it doesn't mean you're against them, and if you're not saying something about somebody, it doesn't mean you're for them either.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, like I guess in Shane's case, they're just like, you're out. You know? You're out of the club.
Yeah.
And so he's making his own club. It sounds like.
Exactly, and then stand up is like the perfect avenue for making your own club.
Yeah. I think I think I'm maybe somewhat envious even of comics and their ability right now to exist outside of the traditional infrastructure.
Yeah, I feel that same way about comedians and musicians, because Dale, I feel like you and I are so dependent on like machines.
I agree. Hold on. Okay, no, I agree. I've thought more about the musicians thing though, and my envy no longer exists, because what I've realized, the more I've listened to musicians in interviews talk about the music business fucking sucks, and you need the same things. Oh, we'll be right back. We have to reset the camera.
Mr. Chong, please hold this.
Yeah. We'll be right back. Movie Addicts Podcast.
You give me, sir.
The greatest podcast in the world.
I love it.
All right, we're back. Movie Addicts Podcast.
Oh,
So
just like that.
the more I've listened to like interviews with musicians, though, Gabe, the reality is that they are dependent on the same things like you and I are dependent on. They need if they want to be independent, that's extremely difficult because they're not going to have a marketing team behind them. They're not going to have so ultimately they need to be signed to a label, and then the label might try to fuck them percentage-wise, all this stuff, but they need the label for a marketing budget. They need it. If they're a 360 artist, they can, that can help them get like touring and publishing and all these things. And they and the label will be like, this is your budget, your album can't be over this, and if
here's the thing, in terms of
they're contingent on their success is contingent on a lot of the things that you and our success is contingent on.
I feel inclined to agree because everything you're saying is true, but I think whether you or not you want to concede, I think there's also truth to the fact that independent artists in the case of comedy and musicians, they can establish a personality on their own in these like fast-paced social media apps, not in a way that a filmmaker and an actor can.
Yeah.
You know, because if a filmmaker does really well, I just like, what are you doing well at? Like a 1080 by 1920 video that's 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to get to wanting to do features? If an actor does really well on TikTok or something, unfortunately, you're still considered like a TikTok influencer and not a real actor.
Yeah.
But a musician, you pump out a 90-second song and that shit lights up like Justin Bieber in 2011. It can happen today too. I don't want to be reductive. You're right that, obviously Capitol Records has died and streaming platforms are like choking out musicians, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's for sure more viral moment opportunities for musicians than like actors and filmmakers.
I definitely, there's no doubt that in the back of my head, I'm like, all right, how's Gabe gonna make himself, more available to people, like as a brand, as a person, as an actor? Like, should I be doing sketch comedy as well? Should I be doing silly videos outside of just the podcast? And I definitely will keep entertaining that thought, because at the end of the day, there was a very long time in college where I will go as far to say that I was almost pretentious about the idea that, about my disdain for multi-hyphenates. And it grossed me out when I would walk down the halls and there'd be these kids who would be like, look at me, I'm an actor, director, producer, stage manager, dancer, and
I do think having
designer,
too many titles is still
exhausting,
cornball, in my opinion.
I'm with you guys. We're traditionalists.
Yeah.
Right. But what I will caveat right now,
you gotta have a few though. You gotta have like two things.
Well, that's the thing, is if you focus on one thing forever for 10 years, something will break through. I believe that wholly, but you are missing out on opportunities if you don't at least attempt to diversify. You know, the fact that like you're going to be pushing your brand, your jokes, whatever you want to call it, as a stand-up, but then like you might actually be able to slide into a feature film. Huge.
Exactly. Exactly.
And same thing for you as a director. Like the fact that we can also do film critique on a podcast. Who knows who will be one of our guests or one of our viewers at some point?
Yeah.
Like, I want to write books and all kinds of other things too. We just don't know what kind of exposure is going to expand. I guess that brings up another question, is like, how far do you want to go in terms of what you want to do? Like, Chong, for you, if you reached, we'll say, it might sound ridiculous, but who knows? If you work your ass off and you really continue to fall in love as you grow and change over the years, if you reach Chappelle status someday, is that enough? Or do you want to do like writing books and TV shows, or do you really just want to level out at stand-up? Like, where are your aspirations as an artist?
Yeah, it all depends. I feel like it, because I'm really just like my buddy. I've been hanging out with these like really good comedian friends. Mario, like my buddy Mario, just really taught me that like just do what is fun for you. And then once you kind of like, because you don't want to. Like, say that, like, you force yourself to become, like, a podcaster because podcasting is, like, a famous thing and you think that's, like, a good, like, investment to put your chips in.
Yeah.
That's not going to – I feel like that's – if you're not entirely passionate about it, it's not going to work out. Yeah. I think the best opportunity for you to hit is whatever you like the most,
Yeah, for sure.
And right now, I like stand-up the most right now. Cool. So that's why I'm doing a bunch of stand-up. Like, who knows? When I do The Kid – I might love acting, and then I'm going to fucking, just do a bunch of acting shit.
Yeah,
who knows, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, whatever happens during the time, it's because it's like, once this becomes like a job, dude, because like stand-up comedy, still, I'm like, 3 years in December, it's still like fun for me. Like, it's still like an adventure, like going to San Diego and, doing a bar show with, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's still pretty fun. Like, so I'm just trying to keep it like just fun.
That's a good call. I feel for myself as an actor, the premise of stepping on set and like waiting for the sound speeding, camera speeding, I can't help but still feel like a kid when that happens. And so
it's hype.
As long as that happens, I have to keep doing it. But I know that as soon as that doesn't capture my spirit, I'm gonna have to push myself to pivot.
And I feel like you're not gonna like you're naturally gonna find something else. Once that fades away from acting, once that fire, you're gonna find that fire like gravitating towards something else.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, if I ever get fucking Chappelle status,
Whoa.
You bitches are over. I'm never gonna talk to you guys again.
I hope.
Wow.
I mean, I hope you talk to us, man.
The one thing
We'll take over the world together. Dude.
Yeah,
We'll take
yeah.
over the entertainment industry together.
So
dude.
yeah, Chong.
Fuck Viacom. Fuck everyone
you
else.
mentioned it, but yeah. So we've mentioned the kid as a project on this podcast, I think. But that's like going to be my next movie. Chong is in it, playing a character named Chong.
Yes, baby.
Let's go.
Which
son.
R.I.P. Chinny, dude.
Yeah, I
Chong,
changed the
baby.
name. Well, this is an interesting. I think we can share this story because it's funny.
Go for it.
I saw Chong at the Comedy Chateau. Place sucks. So we can just shit on. I like how we can just shit on the Comedy Chateau now.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, yeah, fuck them, fuck them. Place sucks, but you were great. And Chong went up there and did this set, and I was with my ex-girlfriend at the time, and I said, well, I think that's the guy. I think that's the character that I wrote. You know, like this Korean guy. Like I think that's him. And so I went up after the show. I was like, hey, I introduced myself, gave you my number, all this shit, and then we met at House of Pies, one of my go-to spots for meetings with people. We met at House of Pies, and you go, I go, yeah. I ended up talking about the character, and you go, yeah, dude. You were very nice. You're very sweet about it. You're like, yeah, dude. Yeah, Chin is not a Korean name. And I was like, well, what if we just change it to your last name? You're like, yeah, that works.
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, see you later.
Dude,
You know,
dude, I'm so glad that we changed it to Chong because I feel like that's just gonna make me be even more in character.
Let's
yeah,
go.
well, that's the thing
That's
is
it,
you're
man.
playing the character is essentially you playing yourself, except there's an added layer that's not true to you at all, which is that you're like a music producer.
Kenny Beats, baby. I'm Korean
Which
Kenny Beats.
You basically
go,
are
son.
Korean Kenny Beats in
Let's
the,
go,
in the
dude.
script. That's literally what you are.
I've been watching a lot of The Cave, dude. I'm
Yeah.
fucking studying.
And that's a whole layer
studying.
that we're gonna add in. That's my job as a director is to like I'm gonna bring in I think I'm gonna bring in a musician friend of mine and his producing partner and like make that feel like a real relationship that you have with the
One of my
the other
best
character,
friends
but-
is a producer in Chicago,
cool.
and so I've been just like talking to him and just like he's been like I've been doing stand up since he started producing beats.
Cool,
and
cool.
it's just cool that we're kind of like slowly rising.
Yeah.
And he's like fucking like,
Yeah.
like sees like Chance the Rapper and shit at like weird Chicago like trap parties and shit
Whoa.
like
Oh,
that.
cool.
So I'm like I'm getting a lot of tips from him too. So it's really fun.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really
Fuck
fun.
yeah. But yeah, that's just when you mentioned the kid, I was like, just wanted to point out what that was. But yeah, the kid is a movie we're doing. Gabe also in it, and then we're trying to cast the remaining roles.
That'll be
Al's
fun,
in it
dude.
and shit. But yeah, it's gonna be great. It's a quick plug there.
Al's gonna be next week.
Oh really?
Yeah, Al's come. Well, yeah, yeah.
That's it, baby.
Anyway, we're
There we
existing
go.
on the pod timeline. Technically, it's tomorrow, but next week.
Oh, respect. Technically.
You know what I mean? Like
I'm
in
talking
my
to the
head,
audience.
I
I'm
know.
always
You're
talking
good.
to the
See, here's the
audience.
thing. That's what you're good at doing. That you're good at remembering that there's a camera and that.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not. I'm terrible at
It's
it.
all good, Dale.
You live in the now, brother.
That is,
Yeah.
man.
Well, I'll watch.
do too much planning.
I'll watch and listen. I listen back to all the episodes generally. I listen back to them just to make sure the quality's there and figure out new things we can try and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you'll say something on the podcast, and I don't realize what you mean. And so
Yeah.
I just sort of overlook it or ignore it or whatever, and then I'll realize what Gabe said was so smart because it was like him bearing in mind that there's like a whole apparatus we're interacting with,
Yeah.
and I'm not good at remembering that.
Thanks, Dale.
Gabe is the responsible doting mother,
'Cause
dude, and you're
once-
just the
one.
dad that goes out for cigarettes and fucking
Yeah,
gets lost.
What's wrong with that? Yeah,
Hi,
gets
Dad.
lost. Mom, when's Dad? Dad got lost. He's been lost a long time.
Yeah,
honey.
He's just
Yeah,
spending
he's
all
never
his money
coming
right
back,
now.
honey. Honey, he's never coming back.
One day, when he's dead,
Yeah,
I'll miss you, Dale.
I'll miss you too.
yeah. No, but no,
Is Chong our son? Chong's our son.
I'll do
Sure.
Please, man.
yeah.
Oh my god.
We'd be good parents to you, right?
Yeah, for sure. We
You
take
guys
care of
would
you.
make great soup. What kind of soup would you
No,
make?
no,
me?
I don't like soup. We're
No
not
soup?
I
making
make
soup
pho.
in this
He
house.
doesn't see when I go to get
See,
pho.
don't respect, dude.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Pho,
Pho's
dude.
a
He
shit.
makes his
But
own
this
pho.
guy, he gets a rice
I get
dish every
fried
time we
rice.
get
Okay,
pho.
all right,
Yeah.
respect. We're gonna
Yeah.
have to Asianify you a little bit.
Yeah,
you do
yeah,
live
yeah,
in
yeah,
K-Town
yeah.
now, motherfucker.
Let's go.
I'm not gonna make you eat
Let's
balut,
go.
dude. Fucking duck embryo. We're not fucking Filipinos
is
over
that?
here,
What
dude.
is that?
That's duck embryo, dog. That's what the
Oh,
Filipinos
That's
eat.
not a
man.
Korean
Okay.
thing.
That's not
okay,
Korean,
okay,
dude. We're
okay.
not savage. No, I'm playing. I'm not playing. I'm playing. No, I'll take you to BCD. That's like step one. Get some spicy tofu soup.
Where's BCD?
It's right here. See, you live in K-Town. Don't know where BCD
No, I
is?
feel like I probably have. Wait, where
like
is
City
it?
Hall of
On
K-Town.
Western? On Western?
No, it's on Wilshire and Wilshire and Normandy, I think.
I've been having a lot of friends push me to go to the breaker dance room. Is that we hear about this?
Breaker dance.
Break room 85.
Break
The
room
boiler
85.
room, maybe?
Dude,
No.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, if you're in the mood to get drunk
Oh, you guys
and
getting
do some,
fucked up,
you know,
Arcade games. And
No. But if you want to sing karaoke, 'cause
Oh,
some
there we
people
go.
are
Koreans
just
love karaoke.
Wait,
Yeah.
what? Nah, that's not Break Room 85.
That's what they. Yeah, I've heard multiple times.
Brass
people do-
Monkey you're talking about?
No, I've heard multiple people
Have you
say
been
they're
to Brass
doing
Monkey? I've heard that, yeah,
karaoke.
I've heard
I
that.
could be
Brass
completely
Monkey's
wrong.
fire,
I could
bro.
be completely wrong, but I've heard
Okay,
multiple
interesting.
parties. People don't know each other.
I'm going to trust your
Somebody,
process
you know,
here and-
send me in the comments. You know,
I think
you look
everywhere in
bad or
K-Town you can
support
do
me.
karaoke. I think
Yeah.
any
Definitely at
establishment.
Korean barbecue sports bars. They absolutely.
Oh,
Yes, that's it.
God damn, dude.
Imagine if, like, inside of the grill, you could turn it off and just a mic rises out from it.
In fucking Korean barbecue, oiled grease.
Yeah, it's
Drunk Koreans just singing a song with a fucking nasty oiled meat. Fucking
Do you
That's
do you
funny.
go out to Korean barbecue joints? To eat?
Nah, dude, I'm off that food stamp EBT. I make my Korean barbecue at home,
Yeah,
baby.
baby,
What
let's
up,
go,
dude?
let's
Get the
go.
Get the pork
Yo.
belly, dude.
Yeah,
I
that's
got
what I'm
I got
saying.
the
Like, you
portable
don't
Korean
need
barbecue
to-
dish.
Dude,
That's for the white people, man. $40 all you can
yeah,
eat, dude.
exactly.
That's
Is
that's
it
the white
really-
people
is it a
prices.
sham? Is it a sham?
No, there's
Are
some
we
like
are we getting?
no.
our
I mean,
bodies fixed?
you got to go to a place with good meat. Yeah, the all you can eat places usually aren't as good meat. You got to go to the places where you can like buy the meat by the plate. That's like the but it, you know, buy the meat by the
But
plate
those
is like
places are
fucking hundreds of
expensive.
dollars.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
I was gonna
expensive.
say, Dale and
Fuck
I
that.
went with a couple friends a year for my birthday, April. My birthday
Yeah,
for
more
April.
recent. Yeah.
It was $25, all you can eat.
Oh, there we go.
I enjoyed it.
I thought
Yeah,
it was
if
fire.
we're yeah
So much
we're
fucking meat. Holy shit!
But that's the
Yeah.
thing is like they're
Yeah.
really. I don't understand that business model at all. Like, what are they banking on? That some people are basically going to eat like
I
nothing?
think they're making money on drinks, and they're making money on they're making money on the fact that only a small amount of people are actually going to eat beyond. Because you have to understand, a lot of this meat, I'm willing to bet, is bought within the last 24 to 48 hours, so they need to get rid of it anyway.
yes. He's
Yeah.
absolutely
Okay.
right.
Interesting.
It's got to
Yeah.
move.
Yeah.
It has to move. And the
Yeah.
markup's probably really high.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But if I do get Korean barbecue, that's where I'm gonna go. $25 all you can eat. Just fucking gorge
Yeah,
my
baby.
face. Yeah.
Dude. Yeah.
If
no,
I wasn't
it's
working,
great.
I'd be like, let's go tonight. But my ass is working.
Yeah. No. Well,
So, yeah.
anything else we want to bring up with Chong before we transition into Black Panther: Wakanda Forever?
I mean, we all have mics. We could start
Chong's
singing.
favorite movie. He said.
Chong's
of all
favorite
time.
movie?
You said it was your favorite movie of all time.
Of Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, man. You said that to me, right?
Sheesh.
Oh, jeez, Louise.
My favorite movie is fucking.
What is your favorite movie? Give us your favorite movie before we. Give us a sense of your taste before we get into Black Panther.
I think Pokemon 3: The Rise of Entei.
Are you,
favorite
are you
movie?
being serious?
No,
I'm on board.
Okay.
I was going to say Mewtwo Strikes
I was
Back was
gonna
pretty
say-
Mewtwo
great.
Strikes Back is also
that hits
fire.
hard. Yeah.
That's but the third one with Entei, you know what I mean? That one when that
You
old
actually
man
like
turns
that
into
movie, though?
that was that's like the movie that me and my sister would pick out at Blockbuster every time we went when we were kids.
Dude, shut
All
up.
right,
Oh,
people.
Remember those
Blockbuster.
times, dude? Remember those times?
Can you believe they're making a Blockbuster TV show?
Randall Park,
I
what
heard,
up?
Wait, I heard it was.
You ready for this too? You ready
Wait,
for
they
this?
didn't make it. It came out. Am I tripping?
And you ready for this?
Came out, yeah.
It's made by Netflix.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah,
That-
so
talk about a
savage,
knife
so
in the back with a
savage, yeah.
twist,
Yeah, Netflix
man.
is like,
So
we're gonna
savage.
profit off of the fact that we fucked you hard.
Killed you. We killed you.
Yeah.
We murdered you,
Yeah.
and we absorbed all your
Netflix
employees.
We need a
basically-
Blockbuster doc.
Netflix basically
Produced
made.
by Netflix.
Yeah, exactly.
Just keep
No, but
going.
Damn.
Netflix basically made a porn. That's basically like a hardcore porno that Netflix made. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just them
'Cause they-
fucking
Yeah,
another
yeah.
industry.
Yep, that's it.
Come
Dale. I'm
on, baby.
totally on board. That
No,
checks
dude,
checks
on,
out. That's
Netflix
I'm on
did.
set.
Come on,
that
son.
industry power
That,
dick,
yeah.
dude.
Come on,
Jesus
son.
Christ, dude.
Yeah, makes sense to me, Dale.
Streaming service cock.
Yeah.
Get
Hey,
'em,
listen,
dude.
Chong. We knew it was gonna be a grittier episode with
It's
Chong.
gonna be hot takes. Hot
It's
takes.
gonna be a grittier
Yeah,
episode.
We're just having fun.
No, we're just having fun. We're just having
Yeah,
fun.
baby. Yeah.
All right, Black Panther.
So,
where
favorite
the fuck do we
movie-
start with this fucking thing? Give us a movie that we.
Oh,
Give us
I love
something.
Uncut Gems.
Bro.
That's my
Yo.
favorite movie.
That's
That's
one
Okay,
of
now
my
you guys are
favorite
best friends
movies.
because
That's one of
literally
your favorite
Dale's
movies? Wait, yeah.
favorite
I
film.
love.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
That movie's fire.
That movie and
It's
Parasite,
damn good.
2019 of
Parasite.
of-
Oh,
it
man.
got me
You
into
and I
film.
talked
I
about
still
Parasite
haven't
when we
seen
got lunch.
Parasite.
You gotta watch it, dog.
Yeah,
You gotta watch
it's
it.
fucking good.
Parasite
good
is
movie.
is
Very good movie.
great.
Have you watched Old Boy?
Oh,
No,
You should watch Old Boy before Parasite.
Really?
Old Boy's
That's
fire.
the OG fire Korean movie ever.
So
Is
good.
that also
Really
Bonho?
There's a Park Chan-wook, I think.
Park Chan-wook, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. That guy, he made. He has another. He's a movie coming out soon. Actually, I'm really excited
Yeah,
for it.
yeah. I can't remember the name of it.
I
Though.
don't remember. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, dude, Parasite's fire. Okay,
But
Uncut,
Uncut
Gems
Gems
and
is
Parasite.
fucking
I love
sick,
that.
dude. You know, the big. can we talk about the kid a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
The beginning of the kid.
Yeah.
When you see him, like that close up to him in the pill.
Yeah,
I thought of the beginning of Uncut Gems.
Yes,
in the mining with the
Yeah,
fucking.
yeah.
Oh, that's my boy.
Yo, yeah.
No. Like
That's
Uncut Gems is like
I saw that shit. I was like, that's
Yeah.
my boy Dale. Dude.
Yeah.
Fucking,
Uncut Gems is definitely like a tertiary reference movie for me for the kid. Yeah, like it's in there. There's a lot of Safdie brothers in the kid.
I love
for
Safdie
sure.
brothers.
Yeah.
I love them.
Bro, Safdie brothers are some of my favorite filmmakers. I think Uncut Gems. What?
A lot of uncomfortable
Their
anxiety
movies
moments.
they just
Yeah.
feel their
Yes,
movies just feel
yeah.
like alive and like
yes.
weird and like very anxiety.
There definitely is a pulse in that film
Yeah.
that you feel changes throughout.
Yes.
And yet you never feel left behind. Like you know what's happening at every moment.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're paying attention to see
Yeah.
what does.
I think that movie was very divisive for audiences. I think
Bro, the first time I saw it, old white ladies right to the left of us.
Oh, why are they saying the N-word so
Oh my
much?
god.
Why
Wait,
are
really?
they- This
Really?
isn't an Adam Sandler movie.
Oh my
Why is
God.
Adam Sandler wearing all the jewelry?
I'm like, and me and my homie are fucking so faded, like
Yeah.
loving it. And we're like, shut up, fucking old white bitch. I'm trying to get into this shit, dude. They're getting so uncomfortable seeing Lakeith Stanfield acting like a black man on fucking screen,
yeah,
dude.
Literally, yeah.
Come on, ladies.
No,
Fucking-
okay. That's the thing is like that movie was interesting because so many different kinds of people got tricked into seeing the movie.
That's why I love
Yeah,
it.
like
It's so
like
funny.
my friends were like thought it was gonna be like a gambling thriller,
Uh-huh.
and so they're like, "Dude, we got it." It was there's very few times where my friends back home in Massachusetts. It's very rare that I'll convince them to go to the movies with me. So it's very rare that we'll get the whole group of us to go to the movies. It's like 10 guys, right? So we got a bunch of us to go see Uncut Gems, and it got marketed super hard via Barstool, right? So they did a ton of marketing with Barstool for the movie. So all
the
these
Kevin
guys, all
Garnett,
my friends
yes.
were like, "Oh, I'm down to go see it," and they thought it was gonna be this like
Celtics, yeah.
gambling thriller, right? And they were pissed.
Really?
They were like, "What the fuck was that? What?" Yeah, they were just.
Well, I
confused
personally
by
hate
it was
it.
too
I
artsy?
think so.
It was too artsy for them?
I
you
think it was. I think it was right.
Ending sucks.
I think
I
it-
still think the
Really?
ending sucks.
Uncut Gems?
Yeah.
I kind of liked it, dude.
Really?
See, it's a divisive. It has a divisive ending.
Yeah.
It's also.
I kind of liked it.
It has a divisive ending, which I think is the thing that I think that's the thing that really separated. And you could just hear like, yeah, my friends were very split on it.
Yeah.
What did they not like about it?
I don't know. I love that movie. I don't know.
All I can say is, here's the thing. If you went into that film liking Adam Sandler, liking gambling films, and wanting to see some kind of like
I love
dark
Casino.
version of like
Casino's fire.
One of my
Shout out to
favorites.
Casino.
well, that's the
Like my
thing.
favorite
If
movies,
you're going,
honestly.
if you're going to go in there and think of Casino, if you're going to go in there and think of like a dark version of Ocean's 11, you're not going to get either one of those things. You know, it's just not.
That movie is that movie is unlike any other movie.
It's
There's
so
no
uncomfortable,
other movie
dude.
Like it.
Adam Sandler sexting her in the closet, and she's fucking flicking her clit, dude. I'm like, that is the most uncomfortable moment in cinema I've ever seen in my life. I'm
Yeah,
like, dude,
yeah,
this
yeah.
is like so. How the fuck did they recreate that shit? So
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
horny
yeah.
and so real, dude. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Right.
And also how
This is
he's like
crazy.
terrible at texting. Like he's so bad at
he's like a
typing.
boomer,
like,
yeah.
There's just all these little details in
That's
that movie
true.
that
It's
make
so
it so
funny.
he's like
It's
not
so
really good
funny.
at texting. He like always misspells stuff.
It's like a typical
And-
Jewish guy from like whatever that
Yeah.
neighborhood, the Diamond District.
Yeah, the Diamond District, and like the Diamond District of it part feels really real, but then there's a lot
So
of like
sick.
surreal elements of it. Like the KG element feels like completely like
Surreal,
surreal and shit. And then there's that whole thing of like
Those twins coming up, they're like almost like weird, like
Yo, yeah,
mystical
yeah.
characters.
Yeah,
almost.
bro.
Yeah. Those
it
twins.
has this like. Yeah, man. Like, and that's the thing is, other Safdie brothers movies like Good Time and Heaven Knows What have
Love
that
Good
feel
Time.
where it's like
Yeah,
very rooted
same.
in something, some sort of like gruesome reality, but at the
Uh-huh.
same time, like it feels really like it just feels kind of surreal and it feels like otherworldly. But I don't know.
Uncuts is more a little bit more surreally, if you
yeah,
like.
for sure. It was also like all those things like where they go into the gem and the
Yeah.
gem is like a part of him and.
Because
you know,
Good Times trippy part of that movie was when they went to that the golf course,
fun
mini
house,
golf
yeah,
course,
yeah, yeah.
and like they were on shrooms or acid or something.
acid.
Yeah.
And that's more grounded in reality because we could like see ourselves doing that,
Right.
Almost, you know. But
Right.
Uncut Gems is like, wow, like this is such a high stakes thing. I could never see myself being like a guy like Adam Sandler, which I think was so cool because like. Yeah, it's just cool seeing like such an intimate portrait of like this gambling addict that like you know
He just has to keep
that's so
trying.
different from me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's and then like the
And I
fact
love
the
Adam
weekends
Sandler.
in that movie and shit.
I
like, it's just
know.
crazy.
That's
Yo.
so funny.
It's just a wild movie. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So, long story short, Chong, you get to stay on the podcast. So
Yes,
is it,
dude.
man.
Let's
Well
fucking
done.
go
Good
right
choice.
there,
Good
dude.
choice for the
Let's
film.
go, dude.
All right, Black Panther. Where the fuck do we start with this fucking thing?
Well, we can start about the fact that you were not happy about it at all when we walked out of the theater.
Me?
Yeah,
Really? What
Yeah, I
was
didn't
his
like
mood
it.
like?
Dale was
I didn't like
pissed.
it.
Dale walked
was
in there.
lost. I was
Dale
very
walked in there
confused.
stoked because he loved Black Panther 1, and then he walked out there and he's like, I have no idea. I don't care. I hated
I
this
just
film.
didn't know what was
Damn.
happening. What?
Damn.
That's
Yeah,
it.
I didn't know what was happening.
What did you know? Was it weird seeing like the water Mexican part? That
that,
whole thing was
like-
very weird.
Well, yeah, I was like, why? That bothered me a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
Latinx
because-
mermaids, dude. That was crazy.
No,
dude.
but I was like,
that's
dude, now we have to. There's so
It
many.
was pretty
There's so
wild.
many characters they're expecting you to care about,
Yes.
and I like that at all.
Sorry, Dale.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
didn't like. I was like, how your emotional investment gets spread really fucking thin. Because then I'm supposed to care about the mer people.
I really think that
I'm supposed to care about.
Princess
the
Zuri.
Wakandans.
Yeah.
I really think a lot of
Then
this
they
is
bring in the college girl from Harvard, and I was like, now I have to care
also
about her.
okay. So interesting. See, I was about to say, when you're conditioned to see like Marvel films and what they're presenting, and the fact that like every additional group or every individual that is painting like a new part of the MCU, that's an invitation to see more personality, more characters, more life, more perspectives, right? So I think that's great, and I get excited about that, especially film after film, show after show, cool. But in my case, when I'm feeling it, they're getting spread thin when my ass is like, oh, and now we're gonna add in
Oh my God,
Ironheart
and-
because that girl,
Who's Ironheart?
Ironheart is the girl who's like the Tony Stark 2.0.
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
where
wow.
she's flying around
so
with the Iron
she's
Man.
from
That's
the,
dope.
she's from the comics.
She's
She
from the
is,
comics.
yeah.
Okay.
She's an actual character.
Okay,
So
I didn't know
they're
that.
trying to kind of like jumpstart another strong female protagonist who's also super brilliant.
Pretty cool.
Gives like a great perspective for like young women who are African American. It's also probably really cool to see that like you have the women from Wakanda, like who are not American, and the contrast between like a young American black woman who's from MIT. So now you're getting
Yeah.
all these great perspectives, but there comes a point in the film where, like you said, like there's so many people. You have Namor who's rising out of the Gulf of Mexico. You have Wakanda. You have the Americans. There's a lot of perspectives, and there comes a point where it's like, who do I care about? What am I paying
And
attention
then Julia
to?
fucking Louis Dreyfus is in this joint, and then we got to care about the CIA guy.
Yeah.
Which
you know what
is-
I mean? I'm like, how many fucking? I can't care about. I can't care about all these fucking people.
But you
I
have
can't
to.
do it.
They want you to.
Yeah, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
for me.
Well, it's more
So
like,
I'm out. I'm out.
I feel like this movie was like. This is why I kind of like Black Panther. Do you guys fist bump when you disagree?
We disagree, agree,
I don't
everything.
I fucking
Yeah,
love
yeah.
that. I
It
love
just
that.
happens
Keep
to
the
me.
bro. Give me
Yeah,
a
yeah,
fucking,
let's
give
go,
me
son,
some,
let's
dude.
go,
Come on,
let's
son.
go.
All right, dude.
We got it,
Movie
we got it, we
addicts.
got it.
Got
Movie
it.
bro addicts, dude.
That's
I love
it, man.
Well, we got to tell Chong, dude, you're inducted officially as an addict person.
Yeah, you're an addict boy.
You're an addict boy.
That's it, baby.
Everyone who
Addict boy.
comes on
Let's get
gets
some
At some
t-shirts,
point,
dude.
We're gonna get t-shirts.
Yo.
We're gonna have dinner parties
We
too.
are gonna have dinner
We're gonna have
parties.
dinner
We're gonna do that
parties. So
shit.
you're now on
Let's
the
hang.
invite list.
Maybe once a
Let's
month
fucking
we'll.
hang, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we really
so
do
we'll
have to do
hang.
that.
It'll be sick. It'll be sick. All right. Anyway, go on,
That's
Chong. You were making a point.
Go on, go on, go on.
The reason why I like these is because it's almost like a political thriller.
Okay. See,
You know?
I don't like
See,
that.
Dale
shit.
was saying that's exactly.
It's
why
like
he
it's
doesn't
almost
like
it's
it.
almost like I don't care, like don't pay attention to the characters, to pay attention to the act, like the political organization, the
Yeah.
Wakanda people, the U.S.
Ooh.
war machine,
Yeah.
the people of I forgot the people, the water Mexicans, dude.
What-
I want to give. What, are they? They're in the comics,
I mean, I
right?
can look up the-
Okay, so here's the
They're in
thing.
the comics.
I want to say yes, they're in the comics, but where I get thrown off is when I was researching Namor. If I'm correct,
Namor.
he's originally considered an Atlantean. If I'm correct, so I don't know if they chose a version of Namor and planted in the Gulf of Mexico, or if they're doing a variation on the character.
If they're doing a variation on the character, that's lame. That's
Yeah.
forced
So-
diversity.
yeah, why don't we look into Namor and
Hold on,
see?
hold on.
No, we don't.
He was a good actor. Huh.
He was great.
Pretty good actor. I wonder where he
really
came
liked
from.
him.
What do you want me to look at?
I
What?
need to look up the literal character Namor.
I love how he got his name.
Namor.
It's so funny.
Is
No love.
All right, here we go. So according to Marvel wiki page,
There we go.
where we go?
Resident Wiki
Assuming
Man.
it's showing up here. Where is it?
it's the 30th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Holy
30th. Wow.
I thought you said it was like the 22nd.
No. There's only 22 in the Infinity Saga. Okay, so Namor originally is known as the Submariner from Marvel Comics as early as 1939.
Okay.
But that said, the Submariner is kind of different than what this is.
Was his subplot within the Wakanda universe?
Originally, this was the mutant son of a human sea captain from the undersea kingdom of Atlantis.
Oh, okay.
You know, possesses super strength, aquatic abilities, Homo Mermanus, which is, like another version of humans. The first known comic book, Anti-Hero, which is interesting because he did have anti-hero vibes.
Yeah.
He's historically important and relatively popular. And he even worked with the Avengers, Fantastic Four, and a lot a teams. I want to see if they have something.
So it was a stretch to put him in the Wakanda
I
universe.
guess so. If we look in...
So it's a confirmed stretch or what?
I'm trying to see... Okay, so in the 50s, they were trying to do a TV show. It didn't work. In the 70s, he was interpreted as a man from Atlantis. Same thing. Namor. I want to know about the film. Here we go. Development of the film began as early as 1997. Like, there was an original Submariner film from, 25 years ago.
Okay, wild.
99, there's a different script with Sam Hamm. Universal Pictures was thinking about it. Chris Columbus was involved at one point. I want to see if there was... I'm not going to get wrapped up in this, but long story short, it does look like that they did make
Possible
some
stretch.
adaptations. Huh? Yeah. Namor.
I only trust in the written comic book, right? What his character is, whatever that main person did.
We're gonna be back with the Movie Addicts. Gabe, timer. We'll be right back. Sure. Movie Addicts podcast. And we'll keep chatting Black Panther. Okay, we're back. All right, Chong, you said you only trust. What?
I don't know.
Talk about the force diversity if it's true. I think it's an interesting point in terms of the way they're trying to expand the...
It's interesting.
You're saying they
seeing
diverted
black and
from
brown
the text.
people go to war with each other? Not right. What's going on, dude? Can't we just team up and destroy the American war machine together?
At the end, right? That's what happens at the end.
And this
is
that
yeah. They truce it up.
They truce it up.
But they don't fight against the American war
machine. They don't, because the American war machine
okay.
is the black girl. She's the one that created the.
Oh,
hold on. I thought the suggestion was kind of that they were gonna kind of fight against the war machine. Like, I thought that was the implicit part of the ending.
You know, the ending. I just saw the fucking kid, and I started. Oh my god, this is beautiful. His son.
You were
like, fuck that.
I don't know. I just.
God, Lupita Nyong'o as a beautiful young mother, dude, and this fucking beautiful young black child, dude, just saying his name's Prince T'Challa.
That worked.
That worked for me.
Yeah.
I was
what
this
was
is
like what?
God, Lupita Nyong'o as a beautiful young single mother. That's just
like what is your like takeaway from this movie? Like, when you finished it, like, what were you like?
Yeah, I felt like it was just like another version of Black Panther 1, because it was just basically like, should we kill the colonizers or let the colonizers kill? It was like one of those. It was like, because it was like Princess Zuri, like saying, should I team up with Namor, and then or should I should I not, or should I not? I'm getting confused myself.
Yeah. I think. Here's what I don't understand, and I'm curious. I'm going to take on more of a moderator role in this conversation, because there's just a lot that I don't like. And
Are you going to remember your question or your concern?
Yeah, that's what I'm about to bring it up.
Because I just want to put like a disclaimer. It looks like the little bit of extra paragraphs that I read, he is traditionally known as a character that's outside of everybody else, who's not Eurocentric in his look, and who is of Mayan descent.
Okay, there we go.
So I guess they, back in the day, had a lot of fun like transfusing the mythology of Atlantis with somewhere deep in the ocean near the Mayans, or something of that effect.
That's cool.
Again, anybody who's a comic book lover out there, sorry if I completely reduced this to nothing. But
so wait, what is the conclusion about his?
The conclusion is he does have indigenous Central American roots.
Okay, but
according to this,
and he is in the Black Panther segment of the Marvel universe, or no?
I can't speak to that.
Okay.
What I will say is I think it's kind of irrelevant. Marvel pulls from many different storylines and different comic books, sometimes taking subplots and weaving them into plots from other comics.
Yeah.
So bottom line,
You know any examples of that? You think? By chance?
I wish I could know off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I heard that the plot they did for the Hulk right now, where he gets pushed off of, and I don't know if you would know about this.
I've seen
Dale.
the Hulk.
So forget the Hulk, like the movie The Hulk with Edward
Talking
Norton.
Avengers right now.
Yeah. So there was a point during Avengers when basically Hulk feels like he has to protect everybody, and so everyone's like telling him to come back to Earth while he's like trapped in this spaceship, and he gets sent off world. And I think that's from one comic book story, and they kind of merged it into the Avengers story they were doing, and then they were kind of using it to introduce the Guardians of the Galaxy. But I don't think all three of those plots were ever like in a single edition or issue. Does that make sense? Yeah. I mean, we see that a lot with Spider-Man too, you know.
Yeah.
Or not Spider-Man 2, just like Spider-Man as like Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Yes.
Where they're pulling like
Yes.
different villains from different periods, and they're even making their own little variations on them.
That's true.
You
That's
know?
true.
Like, let's hope. For 1 second, they had Donald Glover. Am I right?
Yeah, talking about how he wanted to be the new Spider-Man.
Yeah. Well, no. He came in for a hot second as the Prowler. Do you remember that?
Oh, wait. He was
So
one
in
of the villains.
Yeah. So in the first, so in the Miles Morales, there's different Spider-Man, right?
Okay.
You've got Peter Parker, you've got Miles Morales, and there's a couple others from different things. And again, anyone's a Spider-Man fan and I kill this, feel free to correct me in the comments. The version of Miles Morales, who I think is black and Puerto Rican, I believe, or Latino at the very least, he has an uncle. And his uncle, we find out, is kind of a villain, and the villain's name is the Prowler. And the Prowler's like decked out in this like badass like purple electric suit. And if anyone's seen Into the Spider-Verse, the animated film, anybody
I didn't see that one though.
No.
Cool. So in that film, you see that story of the young Miles Morales discovering his powers, et cetera, et cetera. There's a teeny moment in the first Spider-Man with Tom Holland where Donald Glover, we're talking about like Donald Glover from Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
So he has a tiny cameo.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
And he's like running away from Tom Holland, and he's not being portrayed as the Prowler at all. He's just doing some random ass crime underneath a bridge, and it cuts to him in the back of his car, and he has a suit which clearly looks like the Prowler.
Yeah, like a purple.
And it's kind of suggesting that like Donald Glover, whatever he's doing, might, I don't know, ideally it'd be like a very early setup to him playing a villain down the road. Who knows, you know?
Shit,
Which would be
dude.
sick if
That'd be
they
so
bring in Miles Morales at some point as Peter Parker or as Spider-Man.
So, Chong, what is your relationship to like the Marvel shit? Like you are familiar with the comics or what?
No, I'm not a big Marvel guy. I'm a big anime guy. I like One Piece. I like a lot of it. I watched a lot of anime growing up, so I think that superhero aspect of my life was covered in anime. So I didn't really was into Marvel or DC. I've watched a lot of Marvel movies though throughout time. You know, the Iron Man movies. I didn't watch all the Thors. I watched Captain America here. And, the Avengers. I watched a decent amount of Marvel. Didn't watch Doctor Strange. You know what I mean? Shang-Chi I fell asleep into. What up, dude?
Shang-Chi, a lot of shit was happening in that.
That shit was fucking.
Dude,
God, that reminded
Dale,
me.
you thought
like
Wakanda Forever was a lot? Shang-Chi.
That was a lot.
I saw Shang-Chi.
Oh,
I
that.
hated it.
God, I hated it. Thank you.
I had a good time. I gave it the benefit of the doubt, but like international politics, that one was nuts.
Okay, here's what I don't understand.
Yeah, that was.
I want to.
was
So,
a
Chong,
lot.
you said you like the political
thriller
aspect of it, if we want to call it that. That's something that I'm assuming that's baked into the comic books.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't understand why that is always the framing of these movies, of Marvel movies, is like some sort like these like geopolitical.
Because we're superheroes
conflicts.
and we're stronger than missiles and we have to get involved in geopolitical problems.
That's what I'm saying is like
problems.
I find that so interesting that that's
The avenue.
The avenue into like the audience's.
Yeah. I think you have to keep in mind that, on the last podcast I was talking about like when characters, people in stories deal with conflict, they deal with it at a global, an interpersonal, or an internal level.
Mm-hmm.
You could almost say that there's like almost 2 or 3 additional levels of global when it comes to Marvel. So, for instance, Marvel's first 22 films with Thanos and the Snap, and he's trying to, commit genocide in order to actually, like, look out for the better of the whole galaxy and all that shit, right?
Sure.
Well, that's, like, the universe level. But as the movie's built up, way back with Iron Man, you weren't really dealing with the universe. You're dealing with this guy who owns a company and finds out his toys and tools are being sold to terrorists. So that's really... It's kind of a world level, but even then, it's just the U.S. government and the terrorists. So they build and they build and they build and they build to, like, universe implications. And so where do you go from there when it comes to scope creep? The point is, I think they're scaling back now. So in terms of context for scaling back, we have some TV shows that are teeny. You have things like She-Hulk, where you literally just have, like, the... You have a cousin of Hulk who's dealing with internal conflict.
She-Hulk got like a lot of criticism, right?
Yeah, I haven't watched it, but there's reasons for it, I'm sure.
But you think of sorry to cut you off, but Captain Marvel, they did a big, grandiose, big galaxy, but didn't that flop? That flopped, right?
It didn't do so hot. Yeah, a lot of people weren't big on it. But I guess the point I'm trying to get at is in terms of like what am I paying attention to? Why is it on an international backstage? I would say that some of these films, as we start like the next era, the next 10 years of Marvel films. Sorry, it's probably going to be 10 years.
I'm expecting it to be more than that.
Well, the point I'm trying to get to is that they're going to scale back a little bit to at least give some character like introductions into it. But they're gonna be walking that tightrope between. So, for instance, like Daredevil is going to have his own film. I'm sure that's going to happen very localized in New York City. Spider-Man's going to have another film, and in the last Spider-Man movie, if you remember, there's all this crazy universe shit going on. I don't think the next film's going to be like that. It's going to be a very like personal, like New York City story.
Yeah.
And so Wakanda is that weird balance where like Wakanda is not just a Black Panther in a vacuum as like a man struggling with his identity as like the heir of a huge legacy. He represents the nation of Wakanda as a nation that's like,
like a black box nation.
Literally.
Has the best resource in the world. That's why I like Wakanda, because or the Wakanda series out of all Marvel movies, because that subplot is cool. Like, I literally thought, I was like, dude, what if North Korea had fucking vibranium and they're just a fucking shitty communist dictatorship because they want to hide their fucking resources, and then like 200 years later there's like fucking flying Koreans. Like, what the fuck? Like,
crazy. Sean, go on. I like this future. Tell me more
cool,
about that.
dude. Yeah, just like yeah, man, we're just
that's Chong. That sounds like
that sounds like
hold on to that take,
right?
Maybe
that's what
we'll joke about that.
I'm excited about that.
Flying Koreans. Chong does a Marvel spin-off, and it's something having to do with flying.
We're gonna call it Soul Man.
Soul Man, dude.
Yeah.
Soul Flight,
Man.
Soul Flight, dude.
Soul Man.
Oh god, just a descendant of Kim Jong-un just fucking freezes people with vibranium, dude.
But
yeah, I want some kind of like futuristic cyberpunk like 70s twist. It's gonna be nuts.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah. Some neo-noir Tokyo.
But also vibes. Like funky 70 vibes with like the Soul Man, like just a little twist on that.
I love that music. That's my favorite music, so that's a dream.
Let's go.
That's sick.
What I don't understand is Wakanda being the most powerful nation in the world, and then these what the people that Namor leads, what are they called?
I don't know.
I wish I could tell.
H2O Latinos, dude. Winged foot.
I'm trying to.
Mayans.
I don't think we call them Atlanteans in the film, but like in the.
But Namor is basically able to infiltrate Wakanda super easily.
Yeah.
That's what I didn't understand. That's what I don't. This is what I don't understand.
Because their nation is built on vibranium too. So that's why he's so pissed. Because he's like, your fucking King T'Challa showed the whole world the vibranium's a thing. And we were just chilling underwater to try and hide this resource, and you motherfuckers like put it on blast.
Okay,
that's why he's mad.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So they have
respect.
They have equal powers.
Yes.
That's
well,
why,
arguably,
that's what I don't understand. Like Wakanda, I'm like, if Wakanda's so powerful, then why these motherfuckers just break right in and cause a flood?
You also have to remember that, like, if I'm correct, the people from, I keep wanting to call them Atlanteans, but it's not entirely true based off the way it's presented in the film.
Yeah, what's the wiki for?
I wish I could find it. This is just going to bother me now that we don't have like a name for them. In the Marvel film, God Kukulkan, his underwater kingdom Talakan. Okay. Came into existence after Spanish invading colonizers decimated the Yucatan Peninsula. Representation of Latinidad, hegemony created Mesoamerican, Mayan culture.
For enslaving the Maya. I think that's what they're called.
Okay.
The
so
Maya.
Let's say the Maya and what's it called? The Talakan. Okay. So these indigenous Central Americans, right? They have some kind of like stronger than human, right? Like you watch them fight, and
Do you see
the Wakandans could not keep up.
Yeah.
You know, like it took them twice as much just to get them to get knocked down, and then they remember that bridge scene? Cars are flipping over.
Yes.
And the general, she basically I forget her name, but she's the general of the Dormelage, I think is the name, which is like basically the private army.
The bald-headed lady with
yes,
the spear.
exactly.
Yeah, the badass lady. She's
So,
the best. Yeah,
yeah, she's great.
Like one of the best parts
and
of this.
the scary part is like if she is struggling to fight them off, they almost have like superhuman strength. So in terms of like how can the Wakandans fear these people? Well, when you can't breathe underwater and you're popping up inside of your territory where nobody has access to and nobody knows where you
And
are.
they have this sonar attack where
Yes.
they make, just like put
Wild.
people under a spell.
Mhm.
I think the
Well,
Wakanda.
that was a cool little like reference to like mythology with sirens. That
Yes,
was
yes.
wild.
I was thinking like, dude, Shape of Water. This is whole. Why? What are these superhero Shape
I
of
was
Water
thinking,
motherfuckers? That's what I thought.
It reminded me of Avatar. as
Avatar
well.
too.
Also
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Which is weird that now Disney has like two kinds of blue people underneath their house.
And
you know?
also-
Is Avatar a Disney property?
It is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
There's this whole subplot in like one of the biggest.
The first Avatar is too.
The first one technically was not, but Disney has since
Oh,
bought
no.
it, and now there's two more films coming out.
fuck.
Did you know that they filmed all three films? and
Yeah,
this
I
is
know
the
that, but I
fourth?
didn't know it
Yeah.
was Disney. Now I'm worried.
Disney, baby. Dude, Disney built an entire section of their animal kingdom as a
Oh shit.
Pandora section. Like, you know, they have like Superman sections of Universal, and they
Yeah.
have
Who
like
produced the first Avatar?
I just know James Cameron,
Oh,
but
okay, okay.
I don't know if it was Universal. I don't think it was Disney originally. I really
I'm
don't.
gonna look it up.
Look it up, baby.
Yeah, these people were interesting. There's a whole subplot in the anime I watch, One Piece, about this ancient civilization of like winged angel people too, like indigenous winged angel people that have this sacred resource too. That was just it's super similar to this plot,
yeah.
you know. So I was like, One Piece, Avatar combined into one, like,
Mhm.
yeah, very
It
interesting.
was 20th Century Fox.
That makes sense because Disney has bought 20th Century Fox in the last 5 years.
Bloody.
God.
So, you know, there's a lot going on here as to like what to keep track. Why is it on an international level? I guess because Wakanda is at the very least.
But every Marvel film is like that.
No, not necessarily.
Well, Shang-Chi wasn't really like that.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's like when we say every Marvel movie, I'm going to give lots of pushback. Again, there's a lot of films that you haven't seen that, for instance, like the first Ant-Man. It's basically about a guy who's a burglar, and he gets thrown in jail, and his second chance is when this guy named Hank Pym rolls up and is like, hey, I've got this super suit, and I think if you help me out, I can help you out. And it's a very, like, personal story, buddy comedy, but he gets introduced into, like, this super smart guy with technology, right?
I like that, man.
Yeah, Ant-Man was pretty cool.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. It was funny.
Doctor Strange is only international on principle that a New York, an American neurosurgeon, you know, gets in a car accident and seeks, when Western medicine fails him, he goes east.
Oh.
That's the only reason it becomes international. Other than that,
Interesting.
you know, it's more of like a interdimensional, like mythical kind of shit, or mystical rather. After that, I mean, you have Spider-Man, which is your friendly neighborhood in New York. You have like Captain America. is military and political
Yeah.
by nature, you know, with like World War II and the Germans and the Hydra is like the occult version
The
of
Nazis.
Yeah,
Nazis.
exactly. But there are a lot of heroes that like they're not international. They're just not. Like the MCU gets wrapped up in that because of like
Thor and the other galaxy.
yeah, Thor is also interesting too, you know. But I get caught up on that because on the one hand I'm like I'd like to defend the notion that there's a lot of like heroes' journeys that are very personal and it's in its own little bubble. But like for you as somebody who doesn't regularly see MCU films and all you're seeing is the fact that like there's nothing but like exhaustingly overwritten international struggles, like if that's what's interpreted, then like there's reality to that. It's like, is that what the MCU is turning into? Is it just like tons of like massive umbrella arcs that like we can't pay attention?
Yeah.
Like, you know, the other day on our last
I just
podcast,
feel like the stakes always feel like absolutely enormous, and as a
saving
result,
the world,
they feel
saving the world,
as
saving
a
the
result they
world.
feel inconsequential to me in a strange way. It's like the bigger they get, the less consequential they feel.
For sure. And I think honestly that is a real problem. Like if we're losing like internal struggle and it's just global, I'm totally with you because this film really should have been about Shuri.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
and about
She got overlooked a lot.
She
I feel
did.
Like.
You know, Shuri.
She's good. Yeah.
Shuri's. I really wish we had a better way. Interesting. Okay, so let's step away from like the whole MCU business and like let's focus, like zero in on just Wakanda Forever. Shuri, we'll say our protagonist, who is the princess of Wakanda. Her brother has passed. Her mother is trying to like keep it together because her family's slowly getting picked off, and in spite of all the power she has, her family is dying. And so, you know, Shuri, it's like a huge revelatory moment when she goes into I don't know what they call it, but we'll say like the afterlife, like the place of her ancestors.
Sees Killmonger.
And she sees Killmonger.
Yeah.
And like
That was dope.
it's dope, but it like from like where's the internal struggle? That's massive.
Yes,
the fact that
that should have been focused more.
The fact that our protagonist is being revealed that her motivation throughout the film is vindictive and like vengeful, and like we didn't really see that up until like the moment of Killmonger. There should have been.
I liked the Killmonger scene a lot.
Exactly.
I like Mike Jordan a lot.
Yes, absolutely. But there definitely was a shift in the film where like we like Shuri. Oh, do we actually know who Shuri is? Oh, we don't.
Exactly.
And then suddenly she's acting like somebody we don't know.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, no, actually our hero does do the right thing.
And then we wrap it up in the end with the last scene with her nephew and the Killmonger scene. Those scenes should have been longer, and the political strife.
The nephew was such an after the fact thing.
Yeah, that was. I don't know.
Wouldn't it be kind of? What if Shuri had killed Namor and just fucking like? Is that even a possibility? Like, if it's not part of the canon,
it's totally a possibility, regardless of canon. They can create.
I
and
think
kill
that
off
would be
characters whenever they
wild,
want.
but that's just more me.
And
like,
that would go
wanting
against like the kill. That would be the Killmonger mentality for the rest of the.
Well, yeah, then she
Wakanda
becomes
universe.
more of a true like anti-hero, you know, and they could fold that into the next film. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just things that I toyed with as I was watching, but I was like, at the end of the day, I was like, they're gonna go the route where she doesn't kill her.
Right.
Dude, you know what I wanted to see was that like that bitchy Karen CIA agent with like the purple streak in her hair. I wanted her to be the main antagonist.
Yeah.
And I wanted the.
I have to ask, what was their role in the plot? I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. So she.
Do you know what I mean, Chong?
Yeah.
Chong, I was like, what is this storyline? You could have cut this from the movie, and basically nothing would have changed.
What's her character's name?
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah,
plays,
it's something Fontaine.
Fuck.
Well, she's the CIA lady that wants to.
Is she not on the
What?
cast list?
Because I thought like it was gonna be about American greed trying to hoard all this vibranium resources, and then like these two indigenous people like coming together and fighting off like colonizers.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Wait, she might not have been.
So her name in the
no,
comics
she's
is
Valentina Allegra de
de
Fontaine.
Yeah. So what's tough about her, and this is where the Marvel films, this is where you kind of have to turn off your writer-director mind, and
Yeah, I did.
you have to. Because
Trust me, I did.
And maybe this is partially
The directing, by the way, I want to say is solid. Ryan Coogler is a really good director.
I felt pretty good about it
So
too.
directing in the movie, by the way, the movie looked gorgeous.
It did.
It looked great. But
really
anyway.
did.
Opening scene, and they're all in white, dude, and the fucking.
Oh,
It looked the
so
movie looked
beautiful.
amazing.
Yeah,
Ryan
yeah.
Coogler is a really good director. So like, it's more I have to turn off my writer brain. I
Yeah,
think
there,
is
there
what I
comes a
have to turn
point
off.
where like you have to understand these little teeny moments are necessary for like the full arc of the MCU.
Yeah.
So when you see a character pop up and then disappear, and you have this knee-jerk reaction of like, why even bother if they have no significance to this specific plot? It's because they're basically trying to do. Oh, I never thought about this. They're basically trying to do a Sistine Chapel, and here's a little story being told in the corner, and you're like, who the fuck is this character? It has nothing to do with like Jesus and Judas, like right here. When the reality is that teeny character is the central part of another part of the Sistine Chapel ceiling.
So this is what I would say then. That's not a movie. That's television.
And that's what they're doing with film
It's
right
just
now.
television.
It's not, though. Because you have to understand, like, the MCU is taking the structure of television and bringing it to film.
Yeah.
And it's a new era of,
I
like,
never thought
looking at the way, like,
I don't-
through lines can be carried from movie to movie.
I don't think it's. I mean, I don't. Yeah. I don't think it's an innovative thing. I think it's trying to maximize profit to the like utmost extent. And this is my issue with Dune. It's that Dune
Sure.
was the same thing. Dune was not a
I didn't
movie.
even watch that. Yeah.
Dune was not a movie. It was like a first part in like what will be a
Oh,
2 to 4 part television.
I think Dune
series
is a
that you'll
different
see in
thing.
movie
I
theaters.
really do.
No,
'Cause
it's
you
it
have
is
to
different. It is
understand-
different. It is
yeah.
different, but it's related. It's adjacent.
They're
to what we're talking
related
about.
in so much as we were talking about that if the focus is on backstory and we're just not really giving yourself the permission to
By the way, I really appreciated your Sistine Chapel analogy. I think that makes sense to me.
it's just the Sistine Chapel, like thinking about it right now, is the only way I can really make sense
It's
of
a really
it.
good way to put it.
Because I'm telling you,
But I get it. There's like a little thing going on over here, and then a little one going on over here.
yeah,
and, then
and
there.
eventually, like the full thing will be finished.
And you can look up at all of it. and
You
go,
absolutely
Yeah.
can.
Well, that's the
Yeah.
thing is like when it's finished, will it be finished?
In my opinion, I feel
Like,
inclined to say
Is there an end point for?
there is an endpoint in so much as there's an endpoint to the current storyline, which is there is a character, if I'm correct,
Yeah.
there's a character named King the Conqueror. King the Conqueror is a great descendant of Tony Stark. He has access to...
Who's gonna play that character?
he's already been played by Jonathan Majors.
Cool. Right, you told
Yes,
told me
we
about
spoke
this.
about this
Okay,
in the car.
Yes.
Yeah, so Jonathan Majors is going to be the big, apparently, if I'm correct, the big bad villain for the next 6 to 10 years, if I'm correct.
Oh my God!
The only
don't
reason-
do it, Jonathan.
The only reason he would not be is if they allowed...
Don't do it.
The only reason he would not be is if they allowed the Doctor Doom villain to kind of team up, if not take over, what Jonathan Majors is going to be doing. But what I'm currently seeing, based off the films that are coming out, based off the rumors, is that we had Thanos, who was the big bad villain within the universe of, they call it Earth 616. And that's where, like, all of our heroes have popped up since 2008, right? But Earth 616 is one thing. King the Conqueror is basically, there are multiple versions of him from hundreds of different universes, and they all compete with each other, all these different versions. Some are that are brilliant and kind, some of them that are benevolent, some of them that are fucking psychotic and will murder anything.
And that's a
in their path.
multiverse thing.
That's a multiverse thing. And so when
Sorry,
you
Chong, I didn't
when
mean to
you
push
ask,
your
is
arm.
there an end? When you ask, is there an when you ask, is there an end point to this? Maybe there is an end point to concluding that storyline of there is a psychotic, or let's go with psychotic, but is that true? I don't know. There is a character that is fascistic in nature that wants to unify and control every single timeline and universe that exists. Will that character be stopped? Is it necessary? How many heroes will be lost in the process? That's what we'll see unfold over the next 5 to 10 years. After that, I don't know. I would like to think they will move on to other properties, because what are they going to do after that? I have no idea.
It's never gonna end. It's never gonna end.
It has to end at some point. Somebody's got to pull the plug.
What do you think, Chong? You think it's gonna end?
I think it depends. I think
It's a good explanation though, Gabe.
because they're gonna
Fine.
the whole next dude. No, that's a great explanation. The whole
The
next
Sistine Chapel thing made a lot of sense to me. Help me grasp it differently.
Yeah, the whole next part of Marvel is like diversity push. I think so. That's why it's gonna be like a little bit more fresher. I feel like they're gonna have these, black and brown faces on screen a lot more, and that's gonna feel like it's different. But in the end, I feel like it is gonna be just like another superhero movie.
Yeah.
A superhero saga.
Which,
Yeah.
to be fair, to all the haters who are getting kind of exhausted by the diversity push, if it comes from like a corporate place where they're just tokenizing different identities and groups, then yeah, that sucks. But whereas like the original Avengers that we saw over the last 10 years were like characters, if I'm correct, from like 50s, 60s, 70s,
Yeah.
Mhm.
these new faces that are represented from more underrepresented identities, they're based off real comic book characters that are from as early as like the 60s and 70s. I think Shang-Chi was kind of a side character, but kind of a big deal in the middle 70s. And the fact that 40 years later, now we're getting movies,
That's dope.
there's going to be a ton of other characters that's going to happen to as well.
It's a lot of
I
material.
mean, I think
Decades and decades.
I think
of
that's why
material.
the director in these movies is really important, though, in avoiding
Yeah.
that the pitfall that you're pointing out, which is like maybe like a corporate tokenization of
Yeah.
certain people with certain races. I think Ryan Coogler really avoids that in these two movies, in the first Black Panther and this
He
one,
had a
because
huge...
I think he knows his way around these different
Yeah.
characters really well. Which, like, to his credit, I think he really avoids that anything feeling like tokenization. I wouldn't say that was not a criticism I had of this movie.
No.
That there's any even like the girl from the Harvard girl felt like
She's great. She's
authentic
she
to
fit
me
right in
and
there.
like real and
Dude, white dudes got dunked on by black women in this movie. Did you guys notice that? Did you guys notice
No.
the intro scene to when she's like, you're late paying the homework fee. It's an extra $200. Give me the $1,000.
Oh, yeah, that
Oh,
dude.
that didn't even cross my
You didn't think
mind.
about
That's
that?
fucking
She said, like,
sick.
And then
800
fucking
was
Martin
yesterday's price.
Freeman is all fucking shackled up, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you see her. She's like, "Oh, it's funny seeing a colonizer in chains." Like that,
Yeah.
and then she saves
no,
his
white
ass.
guys, were
Like,
getting, white guys were getting dunked on.
yeah,
For sure.
that's
Dunked
funny,
on.
dude.
I was on board. I had
Yeah.
fun.
I didn't. So I
Also,
don't really care.
Martin
but
Freeman was great. Martin Freeman.
He's good.
I just want him to have a bigger role at some point.
I want to say
These are the best parts about Marvel movies,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like him and like the human characters, like
Yeah.
the Sam Jackson, right?
Mhm,
A little bit.
mhm. We need some more Sam Jackson.
Chud Sam Jackson.
The-
He was
the-
in Captain Marvel, right?
Yeah,
yes,
but
he is. He is.
unfortunately,
God, that movie sucks.
There's
man.
this
Okay.
whole thing, if you didn't know, that's like a total letdown with Captain Marvel, where Sam Jackson's got this scratch on his eye, and like he just saying, "Yeah, man, it was like some big story that happened in the past." Like there's always kind of a mythos between like how did he get his scar over his eye, right?
Yeah.
Wait, did they explain it?
They did.
Oh, really?
No. Oh no. What was it?
He got scratched in the eye by a cat.
Oh,
In Captain Marvel, that's what they did.
I bet you in the Disney boardroom. They thought
18
that
to
was
20
so
films.
Funny.
18 to 20 films. And Nick Fury has probably tons of versions of stories or whatever that they could have pulled from. And to be fair, the cat is technically like some creepy ass shapeshifter alien that
I
chooses
remember
to
this from Captain
look
Marvel.
like
Oh,
a
God,
cat.
sure.
It chooses to look like a cat. But like, give me a break.
Oh, gosh.
Like the baddest Nick Fury, I want to see his ass like spilled out in the middle of a street with a car flipped over
Yes.
next to him.
Give me
and his
$50
eyes,
million
like, hanging
budget
out. Yeah,
fight scene,
exactly.
Wait, and
motherfucker.
that was meant to be funny. That the reveal. is
Funny or
that
not, it was
the
just
cat
meant to
thing?
be kind of like the film was kind of Captain Marvel was kind of the equivalent of like the film Solo for Star Wars.
Oof.
Yeah, where they were trying to like give another origin story, introduce a strong female protagonist, and also have lots of like fun Easter eggs and like backstory included. And this was one of those like bullshit backstories where like Nick Fury comes out of the gates in 2008 in Iron Man, and you're like, oh, this guy's bad. It's Sam Jackson. It's Sam Jackson, but in the MCU, and you freaking love this guy. And then 20 films later, like the scratch in his eyeballs from like an annoying shapeshifter cat, it just felt like kind of like a yeah, it did. It felt lame. It was lame.
God, jeez. Oh, jeez.
You know. Now, if it was comic book accurate, maybe that's true. I don't know, but it definitely was not portrayed well on screen. There's so many other ways they could have done it.
Wait, Gabe, you as a Marvel fan, like, did this movie work for you?
This movie worked in terms of I liked what it set up. It introduced, a new race of humans on the planet, and the fact that like the Wakandans are not alone in their access to vibranium, and they're not alone in their struggle to be respected by the United Nations. I appreciate that. We spoke about this in the theater. I really liked the fact that T'Challa passed away, and throughout the film, the theme is if I'm correct, the question is not how, the question is why, right? They say that again multiple times in the films, and I thought that was beautiful. That like we can sit around all day long and talk about how did T'Challa die, but that's not the point, And the fact that within 3 to 5 minutes of the film, we just established that our king is dead, and we don't drone on about it. I think that was really smart writing.
Yeah.
Because what's the alternative? Like trying to justify like our beautiful, respected, like Chadwick Boseman has fallen. Like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, we can't do shit about that.
We're not. And all you can do is honor him.
They mentioned him in the movie when Zuri is talking to someone, how she's breaking down about how she misses T'Challa. She's like, my brother struggled in silence in his illness. So I feel like that was like the only explanation that they did. So then that was like, okay, respect. Like, that's the only thing they can do. Like,
so
Ryan Coogler scrapped the whole movie and had to rewrite a whole nother movie because he died. So that's respect.
That's
right
crazy.
There. That's respect.
Here, hold this real quick.
So, are we?
I don't know if I set the alarm before, so I'm gonna check.
Respect.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
We're back. Movie Addicts podcast. So this thing you were going on about things that.
Yeah. So things that worked about this film. I was excited that they gave Chadwick Boseman a beautiful send off.
Yeah.
I was excited that they were expanding the world in a way that I felt was reasonable. Maybe not necessary. Maybe it would have been nice to just have, like, Shuri have her journey of vengeance and forgiveness. Maybe we could have done that without doing a whole international charade. But for whatever reason, they chose to. Like, I'm totally with you, Dale, that if there was a way to accomplish Shuri's journey without the whole Namor thing, then I would be on board. Because ultimately, I really do just want characters I can root for. And if I'm being fucking distracted by an ensemble of like 50 people, do I really care?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I walked out of the film and I was like, cool. Another notch in the Black Panther story. I appreciate it. I respect it. I don't know what they're going to do for a Black Panther 3.
Right?
I have no idea.
Is that a confirmed thing that they're doing a third one?
I would assume that it would be because it's a successful part of the brand. It's kind of like saying that why wouldn't they do a Guardians 3? Why wouldn't they do a Spider-Man 3?
Yeah. Is there a Guardians 3?
Yeah, and that's going to be actually the end of Guardians of the Galaxy.
It hasn't come out yet. It's in the works.
It's going to be. They're doing a cute little holiday featurette.
I like Guardians. It's funny.
Guardians is great.
It's so funny. Yeah.
The Guardians is going to get concluded. They're going to get a send-off. I don't know if they're going to kill off Chris Pratt or they're going to just like conclude that story, but they're going to be done, and then they're going to move on to a new group of like ragtag.
The Enchanted.
The Thunderbolts. And the Thunderbolts are going to have.
Sounds fun.
It's going to be cool. It's going to be led by what's her name? The girl with the purple hair, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Thank you. I always forget how to say her name.
Really?
Yeah, because she's kind of going to be like Viola Davis.
Gotcha.
She's going to be in the context that
like the correspondent, like the.
She's going to be like the badass woman.
Yeah.
Who's the CIA whatever director.
Yes.
And she ends up basically. Taking some people who are bad guys, some people are anti-heroes, some people who just like shouldn't be involved, and putting them all together to accomplish things.
Yeah. Like that DC movie with Will Smith.
Yeah. Exactly.
Suicide Squad?
Suicide Squad. Yeah. So kind of like Suicide Squad, but not as psychotic. Like Suicide Squad is literally like the worst of the worst from Arkham Asylum, or wherever they pulled them from. This is going to be a little bit different because Thunderbolts is going to have Sebastian Stan as one of the leads.
He's hot, right? The Silver Fox guy.
He's got Sebastian Stan, Pam and Tommy. Anybody see Pam and
Oh,
Tommy?
that guy.
Yes.
Okay.
So he's gonna be. He played basically Captain America's best friend. His arm got ripped off, and now he's known as the Winter Soldier.
Whoa.
Yeah. I know. Dale's just like, how can I keep up with all this shit? You'll be happy about this.
His arm got ripped off.
Yeah, it's true.
Can you send me the clip of that?
I will. I'll let you know.
Just right here.
And then Florence Pugh is also going to be leading
Jesus.
Florence.
Don't do
Oh
it.
gosh,
Yeah.
don't do it.
She's already been doing it.
Florence.
She's
busy.
already. Yeah, she's already doing that. Yeah,
she's playing the new, basically Black Widow. So
Yeah.
she's taking over
Oh,
for
fuck.
Scarlett Johansson,
Oh,
and she's
fuck.
amazing. Her Russian accent is killer. She's very acrobatic. She looks beautiful. She's crushing it. So, and then David Harbour is going to be a part of that.
Oh Jesus, Stranger. Is he Violent Santa? I'm sorry. Is he the
is
Violent?
Violent Knight,
Violent
yo.
Santa, yeah.
I kind of want to see that.
You kind of want to see it?
You know what it is? I
Chong,
like
is
a
that- is
good
that a movie up
hokey
your alley
action
or
film.
what?
No.
I love hokey action films.
Okay,
So I
okay.
need to see. Is it terrible or is it? Do you like Stranger Things?
I didn't watch the latest season.
Okay, so
But
in the latest season,
Stranger Things
in
are
the latest season, they have a lot of fun writing terrible dialogue at times,
fuck.
and David Harbour delivers it. Like it shows how good of an actor he is.
He's
when
funny. If he
he
can make this
is.
funny, then
Yes.
this will be sick.
So he's, in my opinion, David Harbour. If he can deliver like high quality acting under whatever random ass lines they gave him,
exactly.
in this, he'll be fine. You know.
We'll see,
Yeah,
man.
we'll see. Yeah.
Just just stop with the historical characters. We're done. Like I don't care about Santa anymore,
I
dude.
get
Like
you, man.
yeah, but I don't know.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? Stop with the historical characters. Like what?
I don't know. I'm just kind of tired of biopics. Like Queen biopic, Elvis biopic. Now it's almost
interesting.
like a Santa biopic, you know?
I like biopics. I like music biopics.
Yeah,
in
if
particular.
they do. Yeah.
NWA's
NWA's kind of started it, I feel like.
I love that.
Yeah,
I
was
love that
sick
movie. Straight Outta
movie,
Compton's a good movie. Yeah, I really like music biopics. I don't know. There's something I just like. I love music, and I feel like I really nerd out over music biopics.
Well, I think what kills me to tie that to like the MCU is like I feel like in music biopics it's so successful because you take an iconic person and you show who they are personally behind the curtain, and you humanize them.
You get to weave in the
Elton.
music.
Shit,
You
Elton
humanize them. You bring parts of pop culture into it. I think that might be what Marvel's struggling with right now. Is you have these massive superheroes that like we just need more focus on the humanity of them. We need more time, like behind closed doors, where they're playing board games and spilling coffee themselves and burning themselves
that
and
was
getting
cool.
upset.
I feel like they
know?
tried in Wakanda Forever. They tried to do that with the relationship with Shuri and her mother.
Is it really
It's
4:57
Ramonda.
right now?
Yeah,
Holy shit!
I know you got to go soon.
Dude,
But-
Endgame was so cool too. That's why, because you see them all depressed, making a fucking peanut butter jelly sandwich. Thor's all fat, playing video games. That's
Yo,
why Endgame's
it's
so
true.
sick.
It's true.
I gotta watch
That why Endgame was kind of
Yeah,
cool. That
Endgame-
beginning of Endgame was cool.
It was smart. It was really smart.
Very cool seeing
But I'm
that.
saying in Wakanda Forever they tried. I know we gotta wrap up soon.
I mean,
'cause-
we can go for like another 10 minutes, and if you guys want to keep going, I encourage you to do so.
No, well, we can't. We gotta wrap it up. With
This is a
the
good
trio.
pod, dude. Good
Yeah.
2-hour
Yeah,
pod.
bro.
Jesus.
Like,
Dude, I want to keep going, man.
Shuri
Yeah, man, we
with
could keep going.
Shuri and Ramonda, they try to work in that dynamic with them of like the mother-daughter, like daughter
Yeah.
resisting mother thing, and I feel like that was their
Dude,
that's
the
an
mom's
attempt
death
to like
scene
squeeze in
sucked.
something.
I was so
Yeah,
sad. I
it
couldn't
was-
believe it. You know,
Yeah.
her body floating in the water, like it was just.
yeah.
It was tough. It was. Were you not into it?
No, I didn't.
Were you not into it because like it felt like it happened too fast and it was
I
like
just
not a
I
good
wasn't
send off?
invested at all, so I couldn't.
It
Oh,
was
I
cheap.
see.
It was like almost like a quick cheap shot. He went straight up to the tower where the throat is and just kind of threw some balls, and she's dead now. Like fuck. Like
I feel
that
like
was
that's
kinda
kind of the
quick.
point, though.
Yes,
it's
yes,
like
yes.
if somebody that important can die like that,
Exactly. I'm gonna
then
force Wakanda as a nation
that's
to figure it out.
right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
That's the kind of power these people have.
I
That's
did
cool
like-
political, like yeah,
For sure,
yeah,
for
I
sure.
did
killing
like
the king.
Shuri,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
Shuri becoming the Black Panther was kind of sick. I liked
That was
that.
sick. You know
I
what?
liked that aspect.
You know what was so funny? Determining that she was the true Black Panther, all she had to do was beat that big buff dude in a fucking arm wrestling match.
LOL.
Why
Yo,
couldn't she
yeah,
do
yeah.
some fucking cool Panther shit, dude? You guys just had to do an arm
They
wrestle?
literally.
were just like, that was
Let
kind
me
of
see
sick.
some
though.
fucking.
I
That was
like
sick.
that.
That
I
was
like
sick.
that.
That is
I
more
like that.
humanistic, but also they could have been more like, let me hear some sonar cat screams or something like
Yeah.
that. Like, what is some Black Panther
Yeah,
powers?
yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah.
That was interesting. That
So
was a weird
I
kind
thought
of
that
feeling.
was I liked that.
I think that's a whole thing we didn't even go into either, is like Shuri discovering that she too can be the Black Panther.
Yeah.
That's all about her internal struggle of like spirituality versus
it sort
science.
of comes out of no. Does
the
it?
science, the science aspect of that.
Because she rejects it. She really rejects the Black Panther as like.
You're like, you didn't think that the ancestral plane was real,
Right.
huh?
She she thinks all her family members are dead and
then
gone.
she goes there and Killmonger's there and shit.
Right.
And she's like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, but the fact that
That
it's
part's cool.
yeah, it's really wild. I do appreciate the willingness of the MCU to like bridge the gap between great minds of science and how there's more beyond that. I feel like today
cool.
our culture really struggles with like, in some ways, science is God now.
Mm-hmm.
Like currently, a big phrase that everybody says is "I believe in science" or "believe in science." 100 years ago, you never hear that. You probably hear people say like, "I believe in God" or something like that. And so I feel like culture is kind of coming to a crossroads where we believe there's more beyond what we can see, but all we can really believe is what the experts tell us, you know? And I think I appreciate that the MCU, with some kind of childlike wonder, is encouraging people to be like, you know what? There could be something beyond the science. We don't know exactly what.
Because that's how we're going to get you to come to these next
for sure
15 movies.
That's it, baby.
Let's go.
Not
That's
to be
it, son.
that was my cynical response.
It's fine, though. You can be cynical all day.
But
I still love you.
No, but yeah, the
I'm
doc.
in.
Oh, there we go, bro.
There we go.
Bro at it.
Come on, I won't leave you hanging out. There we go. Hell yeah.
Let's go, dude.
Bro,
Well, we're gonna have to put a bow on this thing.
Yeah.
Sucks, but
wait. Let's. Sean,
what is
what
the
were you
bow
gonna say?
that we're gonna put
I
on?
don't know. It's just cool that the MCU has their Doctor Strange, has their Thors, but then
Yeah.
also their Starks and like their like the I don't know, technology-based superheroes, Batmans,
For
shit
sure.
like that. Yeah,
Yo,
so-
hell yeah.
yeah, man, shit, dude, you guys are so fun. We could talk.
You
this,
fun too, baby.
dude. We
Dude.
could talk fucking
Sean,
Wakanda all
you're,
the time.
You're gonna,
We
yeah.
could.
I think next time, dude,
We're
we
gonna
gotta
bring you back.
now that
So
I know
down.
your taste a little better, we'll bring you on. For
Yeah,
let's watch
definitely
something
shoot us-
weird. Let's
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
something like.
Weird. Definitely shoot us a
Sean
text
likes
about
weird
like
shit.
either favorite comedians in films or favorite directors or just a favorite actor.
Yeah,
and then
you
in
know,
the
I
next
wanna-
7 months, if something comes out,
Yeah.
we'll get
Sean,
you back
you're
on.
gonna come back on. You're
Dude,
coming back on
fuck
the
yeah,
pod.
guys.
You're an addict person.
We
now.
do need to decide.
Yeah.
Cock up or lock up.
Yeah. So do you know the cock up lock up system?
No, I don't.
Cock up means it sucked. Lock up means you liked it.
Okay.
There's an in between, which is a clock up, which means it's like you aren't sure whether it's something in between.
Yeah.
You know, I liked it. I'm gonna say I liked it.
So it's a lock up for you.
You know what got me?
Was it a lock up? Yes or no?
It was a lockup. It was
Done.
a lockup. I liked
There
it.
you go.
I'll watch it. I would watch it in the real movie theater because my broke ass watched it on my phone. Yeah, but yeah, there are some cool themes on that, dude. Oh my god, the Spanish. Sorry to end the pod on a really weird, sad note,
Just
but
go.
him seeing his people being enslaved by the Spanish
my
Yeah, that was
conquistadors.
wild.
That
wild.
was
I was like,
scary.
there we go.
Yeah.
That's some real shit.
It was real
MCU,
shit.
there
You're
we
right
go.
about that.
There we
That
go.
that was wild.
They were
That was
willing to
wild.
go there on that
Like
one.
there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's like Ryan Coogler's like willingness as a
God
director
damn,
to
that
go
was-
there. But yeah.
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 Gabe, cock up or lock up?
I reluctantly give it a lockup on principle that as a film, I would watch it again. As an MCU film, it feels important, but like as an MCU film, it's also still not my favorite. You know, but it's not a clock up. I think it's better than that. I don't think it's a cock up. Like I feel like it's succeeding on way more fronts than it's failing. And the fact that I can track Shuri's journey, and feel like I can take away something from that, you know, yeah, I'll give it a lock up for now.
I'm going cock up.
Yeah, I know.
But for the same reason
love
that
you.
I don't have a vendetta against this movie. I think it's a cock up for the same reason that like Captain Marvel is a cock up to me.
Which
Which
is
I
a
know-
bummer because Captain Marvel is one of the.
You think
dookie
Captain
dudes.
Marvel
Worst,
stinks?
huh?
It's literally out of 22 films, I would probably put it. If one was the best and 22 is the last, I would probably put it between 20 and 22.
Brutal. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: is I like the first Black Panther. Because the first Black Panther had. I also think Michael Jordan was sort of an X factor for me in the first film that I didn't
Yeah.
realize until he came back in this one.
Gave us
Yeah.
that artsy
I love his
little-
scene. I love Mike Jordan's scene in this one, and it made me want him to be. It made me want Killmonger to be in the entire movie. I know
I
that
miss
wasn't
Killmonger,
possible,
yeah.
but whatever.
For sure.
I just like I'm realizing watching this made me realize what I liked about the first one. I love the ancestral plane stuff.
Yeah.
Chad Boseman's awesome. Mike Jordan versus Chad Boseman is really cool. And I also like how it's infighting.
Yeah.
It's conflict within Wakanda, which I like. The fight sequences they felt like they weren't taking away from like the core story and core the character arcs. I don't know. There's just watching this movie made me realize what I liked about the first one. This one's a cock up for me though. I was lost as well. I just felt like the scope of it was way too ambitious. To the extent of to the point of just complete overload.
It was 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah, it was
Jesus
dense.
Christ, yeah.
It was dense, and it's interesting to me that people are willing to sit through it. I mean, I don't know. It's cock up for me.
I will say, finally, or with some kind of final thoughts, maybe Michael Jordan will come back. Who knows? They are doing a multiverse, and there could be another point at which Michael B. Jordan could come in as Killmonger, but a different version.
I wonder
if that's something you want. Hopefully, we'll get it.
I wonder if he'd want to do that. Just based on his where his career's headed, I have no idea.
I wouldn't doubt it.
We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Anyway,
for sure.
Chong. This has been Adam Chong.
What's up, dude?
Let's go, son.
Comedian.
So fun.
Yeah.
Comedian, actor. Is that it? What else?
That's it for right now, dude.
Yeah.
No more hyphenates. No more
hyphenates, baby.
Only one hyphen.
No, I believe in having two things you can call yourself.
Maybe three.
Maybe
I call myself writer, director.
Yeah,
I think that's it.
Comic and actor, honestly. Comic actor.
Yeah.
We'll work towards the writer hyphen one day.
Yeah.
We'll work towards.
Yeah, you're You're gonna end up writing shit, dude. That's. I feel like so many comics get pulled into writing because writing's inherent to the form.
The Flying North Koreans animated series.
That's
there we go.
Soul Man, baby.
Dude,
Let's go.
Soul Man.
That's gonna happen if you get that thing off the ground. I want to be. I would like to be involved
of course,
if possible. But
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Soul Man.
The Flying Koreans thing is gonna be something special.
I'm on board.
God, I love it.
Something special.
And so, Adam Chong.
There we go.
This is
Collindale.
And I'm Gabe.
And this is Movie Addicts Podcast.
Let's go.
Hope everyone had a great weekend.
There we go. We'll see you. Yeah, we'll see you soon.
Boys, own.